It's time for Elmhurst College football. Today, the upstart Blue Jays take on the 13th ranked Thunder of Wheaton College. Hello, everyone. I'm Tim Calderwood. Luke Tanaka is alongside. Elmhurst, a perfect 4-0 in the CCIW, preparing to take on Wheaton, who is also unblemished at 4-0 in the conference. I think you could say that both of these teams are surprise 4-0. Wheaton last week winning the rivalry contest, the Little Brass Bell game over North Central. Contest that, in a lot of cases, ends up deciding who wins the CCIW. So the Thunder sitting at 7-0, despite a rather unspectacular performance during the non-conference season. And Elmhurst at 5-2, despite struggling in the non-conference portion. Both teams are starting to hit their stride as we prepare to clash on this Saturday afternoon from Langhorst Field.
And Tim, you really have to say that this is probably one of, if not the biggest game here at Langhorst Field that's been played since the IWU game against Wesleyan in 2012, where the Blue Jays were able to clinch a tie and a share of the conference title. And so with the play, we'll see if the play of Joe Camilleri, the play of the offense, Josh Williams, and then it'll be interesting to look at the Wheaton offense, one that we haven't seen yet, and one that's gone through many quarterbacks this season and has finally settled on Johnny Peltz. So we'll see what both offenses can do, and obviously turnovers will be a very big factor in this game. The Blue Jays much better in conference play in turnover margin than they were in the non-conference portion of the schedule.
Well, the first look we'll have is at the Elmhurst offense. Wheaton wins the toss and defers. Elmhurst to receive as we open action on this Saturday. Sam Cody will kick it off for the Thunder. Back deep, Tyler Smith and Josh Williams standing at each of the hash marks. And here's the kick. It is high and deep, end over end to the 8-yard line. Gobbled up there by Tyler Smith. He'll run straight ahead and reach the 25-yard line before he is brought down by Ben Shaw. 1st and 10, Elmhurst from the 25 to start the contest today. C.J. Barnes is the left tackle. Sam Rethman, left guard. Drake Hoffman, the center. Danny McHale, the right guard. Logan Mosher, the right tackle. The specialists, quarterback Joe Camilleri. His running back, Josh Williams. The split back is Connor Brewer. Tight end, Garrett Claxton. Receivers, Adam Bowers and Kalen Miller. First and 10 for the Blue Jays, who line up with trips to the near side. Out of the pistol formation, it's Joe Camilleri. He has steadily improved throughout the season. He'll fake the handoff, shuffle to his right, and dump it off into the flat. Connor Brewer with the reception, tripped up at the 28-yard line. Camilleri faking up the middle, then delivering to the open split back.
Looked like Wheaton was playing a zone because they didn't have anybody matched up with Brewer. Something perhaps that Joe Camilleri saw, dumped it off into the flat for a couple of yards.
Gain of 3 on the play, 2nd and 7. Ball on the right hash. Camilleri surveys the defense on this cool Saturday afternoon. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, throws over the middle. It is caught. Kalen Miller, huge hole up the middle, down the right hash, cutting towards the numbers. 10-5, touchdown Elmhurst. Big gainer for the Blue Jays to start, a 71-yard touchdown from Camilleri to the wide open Miller.
Kalen Miller just running a very simple slant pattern, but able to get past his first initial defender, and then he's off to the races after that. Into the secondary, and Miller with some great speed. Miller's been the big play receiver for the Blue Jays this season, leading the team in reception yards, although not leading in receptions. That's his 6th touchdown of the season.
Brett Bayer on for the point after. 6-0 Elmhurst with the advantage, striking on the opening drive today. Out of the hold of Tom Finucane. Kick is up, angling right and through. 7-0 Elmhurst on top, 13:58 to play in the first quarter.
And boy, in a game like this, you could not have asked for a better start if you're the Blue Jays. Just a very simple slant pattern, easy completion. We assumed just try to get the first down, but then a couple of possibly a defensive miscommunication, possibly just a missed tackle, and Kalen Miller off to the races using his great speed. New receiver for the Blue Jays and a transfer. Just a huge play for him and the Elmhurst offense to start this game. And a key one at that.
82nd meeting all time between Elmhurst and Wheaton. Wheaton with a commanding advantage in the series 54-21. However, the teams have split the last two meetings, Elmhurst winning here in 2012. Last year, the Thunder scoring 21 unanswered points en route to a 28-3 win over Elmhurst at Wheaton. Solid start for the Blue Jays. A big drive to open the contest on a huge pass play from Camilleri to Miller. At a 7-0 advantage for Elmhurst on the scoreboard. Didn't think we would see a lot of big plays in this one. We'll go over a couple of key points momentarily, but both of these teams are very stout defensively. Elmhurst number 1, Wheaton number 2. Bayer places it down near the left hash, and he will restart play with a line drive floating towards the 11-yard line and taken there by Matt Norton, who is drilled just over the 20-yard line at the 23. 1st and 10 for Wheaton, trailing 7-0. For the Thunder on offense, Matt Sneebold is the left tackle, Kristen Hollinger the left guard, Spencer Clark the center, Dan Barnhart right guard, Ben Petway right tackle. Quarterback is Johnny Peltz. The Thunder have finally settled on Peltz as the man, the 6'3" sophomore. His running back, Jesse Geary. Receivers, Luke Thorson, Keegan Kemp, and Matt Mitchell, with the split back being Brandon Gray. Peltz with plenty of time on first down as he drops to throw. Cannot find any open receivers. He'll tuck and run, surpass the 25-yard line, and dive forward to the 27 for a gain of a couple.
And Peltz last week had an unbelievable game against North Central, just something to help them defeat the Cardinals in the battle for the Little Brass Bell. 22 for 28, 236 yards, and 2 touchdowns in that one, along with 83 yards on the ground.
Out of the gun, Peltz with Geary to his left. Takes the snap, hands it off. Geary running right, met instantly by the Elmhurst defense and dropped behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and long upcoming for the Thunder, as the defensive line with some great coverage on the sweep.
Some great penetration there by the Elmhurst defense. Looked like Tucker, Eliada, Spracklin all in the area, just swarming the Wheaton ball carrier and setting up 3rd and long.
Front 3 for Elmhurst, Chris Reed, Matt Judici, Nick Spracklin. It is 3rd and 9 for the Thunder on the right hash. Peltz drops back again with time, flush from the pocket, rolls right, throws. It is caught for a first down. Keegan Kemp reels it in at the 38-yard line, coming back on a hook route towards the field of play.
Good job by Peltz to extend the play, allow his receiver to find a soft spot in the Elmhurst defense, just sit down right by the first down marker, and then convert for Wheaton's first down of the game.
12.5 to play in the first. 7-0 Elmhurst with the advantage. Peltz, a design keep, running left, has a hole, tripped up across the 40 at the 46-yard line. Tackle made for Elmhurst by Valdez Honorable, who's in the secondary for the Blue Jays. He's the safety along with Billy Viero, Marvin Carr, Jake Policki, the corners. The linebackers, Jake Garabedian, Brian Tucker, John Eliadis, and Andy Warson. Gain of 8 on the play. It is 2nd and 2. Set up on the left hash inside of 12 minutes to play in this opening quarter. A pistol look for the Thunder here. Some movement up front momentarily. Handoff is to Geary. Running right. Geary has very little there as he is dropped by Jake Garabedian and Andy Warson at the 47-yard line.
And Wheaton perhaps going to use some of those hard counts, watching that Elmhurst defense jump and the defensive line jumping already, perhaps using some of those hard counts later in the game. But Geary, 4.1 yards per carry, has been bottled up on his first couple today.
Elmhurst, the CCIW leader in total defense. Big opportunity here to force the Thunder off the field on third down. Peltz keeps straight ahead, huge hole, crosses midfield, down the far side of the field, inside the 20, inside the 10, sidesteps the tackler and into the end zone, past the arm tackle of Valdez, honorable. The Thunder will have an opportunity to tie it on a 53-yard scamper on 3rd and 1.
And that's just another part of the offense that Johnny Peltz gives this team. The blitz came from Elmhurst from the right side of Peltz, and Peltz read that, went off to his left on the keeper, and there was a huge hole, able to sidestep a couple more tacklers, and then just really outrun the Elmhurst defense on his way to the end zone.
Sam Cody on to try and even the score. A couple of big plays from each of these squads to start the contest today. 7-6 Elmhurst on top. Play clock ticking down inside of 10 seconds. Here's the snap. Hold is good. Kick is up down Main Street. We're deadlocked at 7 with 11:02 to play in this opening quarter of action.
And in a game that features two of the best defenses in the conference, we have two huge plays, 50-plus yard plays for both teams that have us deadlocked at 7, less than 5 minutes into the game. And blitz came there from the Blue Jays from the left side of their defense, and Peltz read that very well, found the hole to his left, and then was able to just outrun the Elmhurst defense. And two big plays, 14 total points on the board, and we're already off and running in a game that's what we expected to be more of a defensive battle.
Maybe it's time to throw the notes out the window. Elmhurst 74 yards on the opening drive. Wheaton responds with a 75-yard drive. Couple of big plays, and each team has scored a touchdown in the first 4 minutes and 58 seconds of the contest. Josh Williams, Tyler Smith stand at the 1-yard line. Andrew Haynes, the senior kicker for the Thunder, advances on the ball and sends one high and deep to the 5-yard line. Tyler Smith runs up the right hash, and he will not reach the 20-yard line. Great penetration by the Thunder, leading the way, Austin Brooks. And so now let's see what the Elmhurst offense can do in a 7-7 affair with 10:57 to go in this opening quarter.
An Elmhurst offense that hasn't given the ball to Josh Williams yet today. Williams 10th in the nation in all-purpose yards and rushing yards.
Well, that might happen when you score on 2 plays.
I suppose he ran 2 pass plays in the first 2 plays. The first one, Camilleri just pulled it out of the belly, and the second one was a straight pass. So we'll see what happens here as Elmhurst setting up shop once again, perhaps getting back to the run.
Lined up on the right hash from the 19-yard line. Williams on the left hip of Camilleri. It's a pass. Camilleri looks right, rolls left, throws high, incomplete off the fingertips as he was looking for Garrett Claxon. Fortunate the ball was not intercepted. And it's 2nd and 10.
Tim Camilleri throwing on the run. And when you don't set your feet, that ball tends to sail on you. And that time it did there, off the fingertips of Claxon and just barely under the grasp of a Wheaton College secondary man. That could have been a huge play for the Thunder in that turnover, but fell just before.
3 plays and still no touches for the CCIW's leading rusher, Josh Williams. Split backs surround Camilleri. And it is a fake to Williams. A throw to the left side. Reeling in the reception, Kalen Miller. He will cross the 20 and is smashed out of bounds at the 22-yard line. Modest gain of about 3 on the play.
Nice play by the corner over there on the far side. That was Mendez getting off of his block and then forcing Miller out of bounds. And head coach Ron Plans of the Blue Jays has always emphasized we're going to take what the defense gives us. And so Wheaton showing 7, 8 in the box this entire first few drives. Perhaps that's what he's talking about. They're giving him the pass to the outside, and so that's where they're going to throw the ball. So we'll see Josh Williams get some touches, perhaps not on 3rd and long.
3rd and 7. Set up on the left hash. Camilleri dropping back out of the gun, pumping, and he will be sacked back at the 10-yard line. The sack leading the way, Jared Todd, the senior defensive end for the Thunder, and there was no time for that play to develop.
Wheaton was in the backfield almost immediately off the snap, just really getting some great defensive pressure and able to put lots of pressure on Camilleri, who really had no chance to throw that ball. Even if he had an open target early in the play, there was no chance of him getting it there with two players from the Thunder, including Jordan Todd, surrounding him.
Tom Finucane to punt, averaging 32.9 yards on his 12 attempts this season with a long of 43. He will punt into a stiff breeze. It is 44 degrees today. Real feel 37. Wind out of the north-northeast at 11 miles an hour, and Elmhurst spends a timeout with 9:21 to play in the opening quarter, tied at 7.
Yeah, that's not a good timeout there from the Blue Jays. You just trying to punt the ball away, and Blue Jays forced to burn a timeout to not be backed up half the distance to the goal and a couple more yards. See if that comes back to bite them, I suppose, late in the second quarter. A little ways to go from there, but if they're driving with just a couple timeouts remaining, we'll see if that affects their offense at all. But now they'll be able to punt it away with lots of time.
Return men for Wheaton standing at the Elmhurst 42. Matt Mitchell alongside Keegan Kemp. Finucane stands 6 yards into his end zone. On 4th and 21. Here's the snap. It is high, flags fly. And before the snap, a penalty. Initial signal against Elmhurst. It is against the Blue Jays. The officiating crew today, Scott Curtis the ref, Josh Reese the umpire, linesman Nathan Elliott, line judge Ray McCormick, side judge Steve Mitz, field judge Robert Pickert, and the back judge Mark Johntree. And now Finucane stands with his feet up against the back of the end zone. A 4-yard penalty. And Finucane has trouble getting this one off. Fair catch signaled for, and it is made by Kemp at the 32. So a punt of only 28 yards and great field position for Wheaton in this 7-7 affair with 9:11 to go in the opening quarter.
And in a game where you expect it to be a little bit of a defensive battle, field position is always critically important, and Wheaton really did a great job there defensive, forcing Elmhurst back and giving their offense just really fantastic field position deep inside Elmhurst territory at the Elmhurst 32.
Wheaton does rank second in the CCIW in scoring, just under 30 points per contest. Peltz out of the pistol. Keegan Kemp in motion from left to right. It is Peltz on a keeper. Curling right, has the first down inside the 20 and angles out of bounds at the 17-yard line. He was escorted out by Jake Palicki, and Peltz has been doing it with his feet to start.
A couple of Elmhurst players caught on the inside, including John Eliadis, who came in to try to stop the run, and then Peltz just able to pull it right out of the belly of his running back and get the corner and gain 15 yards and another Wheaton first down.
8:52 to play in this first quarter. Geary with the handoff straight ahead. And he will dive to the 15-yard line. The Thunder on the doorstep here.
There's the other wrinkle, obviously, of the option, just giving it straight up the middle, gaining a couple yards, setting up 2nd and 7.
Split backs to either side of Peltz. Geary to the left, Pukanitis to the right on a 2nd and 7. Peltz out of the gun, drops to throw, flushed from the pocket, steps up, dumps off on the right edge to a wide open Andrew Lindquist, who will walk into the end zone untouched.
And on that play, it almost seemed like Peltz was looking to his left, trying to hit Keegan Kemp on the left side. He was really open. He was pretty wide open if he just throws it high, but instead holds the ball, keeps it longer, finds his next open target, which was Lindquist, and then Lindquist pretty much walks straight into the end zone and the Thunder on their first 2 possessions have shown some great, and Johnny Peltz, I've been extremely impressed by him so far, running when he needs to, passing when he needs to.
13-7 Wheaton. Here's the extra point attempt from Cody. It is up and good. 14-7 on the touchdown grab from Zach Lindquist, his first of the year. And the Thunder have moved the ball at will on this Elmhurst defense to start today with 8:05 to go in the first.
And even just looking at the heights and on paper, that you knew that this matchup, a wide receiver to secondary matchup, is going to be a handful for the Blue Jays. All these receivers for Wheaton, Thorson is 6'6", Lindquist is 6'3", and then you oppose that with a couple of the Blue Jay corners. Marvin Carr listed at 5'4", and just automatically it's the height matchup that's it's trouble. But so far, Peltz really hasn't even had to use that, as he's had a lot of open targets over the middle, and that one finds there Lindquist, and Lindquist goes into the end zone to give the Thunder a 7-point lead.
So Wheaton has scored on each of 2 first quarter possessions, taking advantage of a short field. 14-7, Wheaton on top. And this matchup of unbeaten teams in the CCIW. Wheaton ranked 13th in the D3Football.com top 25. A perfect 7-0 with a 4-0 mark in the CCIW. Andrew Haynes addresses the ball, floating line drive, bouncing inside the 20, and bobbled momentarily by Tyler Smith, who picks it up at the 16, and because of the struggle, can only make it across the 20 to the 24-yard line. Danny Puknitis leading the tackling for the Thunder. And Elmhurst takes over from the 24-yard line, down 14-7 with 7:59 to go in the first.
Now the Elmhurst offense back on the field. Josh Williams still without a touch in the game. Perhaps taking what the Wheaton defense is giving him, as Wheaton now 7 in the box right now, 4 down linemen, 3 linebackers. That's the look they've been showing all game, so we'll see if they continue to go with the pass, do the Blue Jays.
Claxon in motion to the right side. It is Williams with his first touch of the day, running right, and he gets nowhere. Escorted out of bounds back at the 23, a loss of 1 on the play. Michael Risher among those for the Thunder, making sure that Williams had nowhere to go.
He's trying to run with all of his blockers. A lot of Wheaton players able to get off their blocks, including Swinder number 5, who made a nice play to force them out of bounds and just really keep Josh Williams contained and just force him to move east-west rather than north-south.
Midpoint of the first, 14-7, Wheaton with the lead. Camilleri, 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions in CCIW play. Wheaton showing blitz. Camilleri takes the snap, rolls left, throws. He has Claxon. The man who ranks 3rd in the CCIW in catches is smashed out of bounds after a gain of 8 by Caleb Ashby.
There's a nice play by Camilleri on the run. Similar play to what they ran earlier, trying to find Claxon. That time he really drove the ball, forcing it off his back foot. They did a good job to complete the pass and set up 3rd and short for the Blue Jays, one that they love because it opens up the entire playbook, including the run to Josh Williams.
Trips to the near side. 3rd and 1 for Elmhurst from the 33-yard line. Down 14-7 in this opening quarter of action. Camilleri hands off, but a flag as the snap came. And for the second time, Elmhurst guilty of moving early.
Those are penalties that really, really hurt you against a defense like the Thunder. Originally 3rd and 1, really the entire playbook is open, and I look like out off the snap that they were going to give it to Josh Williams to the left side, but now 3rd and 6 with the way that Williams got bottled up on the first carry, you almost think that Elmhurst is forced into a passing situation here.
Clock running, 6.5 to go in this opening quarter. 14-7 Wheaton. It's a 3rd and 6 for Elmhurst. Set up on the left hash. Out of the pistol, it's Williams behind Camilleri. Camilleri looks left. Elmhurst Checking down the line of scrimmage as Wheaton shows some pressure from the backers. Camilleri flush from the pocket, steps up, tucks and runs. Has the first down across the 35, surpassing the 40 and out to the 42. Perhaps an underrated element of Joe Camilleri's game is his ability to get things done with the legs as well.
And he does lead the Blue Jays, 8 touchdowns on the season, second leading rusher, over 250 yards, and Camilleri able to find the soft spot as Wheaton showed pressure, then backed off. Played somewhat of his own, and there was a nice open hole for Camilleri up the middle.
A third down conversion for Elmhurst with 5:45 to go in this first quarter and the clock running. It is 14-7 Wheaton. 1st and 10 from the Elmhurst 43. Williams to the right of Camilleri. He'll receive the call, and he is upended across the 45 at the 46. Hit hard by Adam Dansdale, among others.
Dansdale, the number 1 leading tackler on the Wheaton Thunder, also has 4 tackles for loss. Huge hit on Josh Williams, trying to set the tone for this Wheaton defense early in the game. Did a good job with that hit.
This Wheaton team does give up yards on the ground. 133 per game, smack dab in the middle of the conference.
They've done a very good job committing guys to the run early, bottling up the Elmhurst rushing attack.
Play clock inside of 5. Camilleri takes the snap, fakes the handoff, rolls right, throws, juggled and incomplete. Connor Brewer had it in his hands but couldn't hang on, possibly trying to make sure he stayed in bounds.
If you look at the replay, I mean, Camilleri has Brewer for maybe even a second and a half, 2 seconds even before he throws the ball. So I think if he throws that ball earlier, it's a way easier catch for Brewer, who is running out of room down the near sideline.
Another third down for Elmhurst, converted moments ago on a 3rd and 6. This a 3rd and 8 from the 45. The Blue Jays huddle. Corey Partenheimer split wide left.
Excuse me, you got to watch Kalen Miller in the slot on the near side.
Trips to the near. Camilleri pressured, throwing, and dropped again. It was in the hands of Claxon at midfield. And a Wheaton player is down on the Thunder side, as it'll be 4th down for Elmhurst. No indication yet of the punt unit coming on, and finally a change here. As they work on the injured Wheaton player. With 4:39 to go in the opening quarter, 14-7, Wheaton with the lead. Elmhurst marched 74 yards down the field, scoring on a 71-yard pass play from Camilleri to Kalen Miller to open the scoring. Johnny Peltz did it himself with a 53-yard run to tie the score. And then he hooked up with Andrew Lindquist for a touchdown to put the Thunder ahead. Alex Mendez is on his feet and walking off to the far side of the field. The Blue Jays have been splitting punters throughout the course of the season. The first punt was from Tom Finucane. It is Brett Bayer on currently. Bayer averaging 39.5 yards per kick. And an interesting look for Elmhurst. They line up with a couple wide to the near side. The Gunners, Bayer will step to his right and send a high booming kick that soars out of bounds. Where's the spot? It landed at about the 18. They'll mark it at the 19, where Wheaton takes over 1st and 10 with 4:31 to play in the first quarter, leading 14-7.
Good play by Bayer to flip field position and force Wheaton deep in their own territory at their own 19. But we go back to that play by Garrett Claxon. That's a catch that he has to have in a game as critical as this, especially against a team as good as Wheaton. To convert that 3rd down and keep the drive alive would have been a huge play for the Blue Jays. Now the Wheaton offense has another chance.
Peltz in the offense on the field, lined up at the left hash. Peltz looks to throw. When nothing is there, he opts to keep and is hit behind the line of scrimmage at the 17-yard line. Dropping him on the play, Brian Tucker.
Nice play by Tucker. I believe he was in coverage initially and then just saw that Peltz pulled the ball down and just converged on him as fast as he could and able to knock him for a loss.
It is ruled as a sack, so a loss of 3, 2nd and 13. Geary to the right of Peltz. Dropping, looking, flush from the pocket, steps up, underthrows his target. Aiming for the 6'6" Luke Thorson. And a flag came in. It is pass interference against Elmhurst, which will mean an automatic first down for Wheaton.
We didn't see the coverage of who had the coverage on the play, but I've heard holding his arm or some sort of, either way, the ball was thrown extremely low, but it was in the general direction, and it's pass interference, automatic first down.
Move it ahead to the 32. It's now first down for Wheaton. On the right hash, Pugnitis to the right of Peltz. He will throw the wide receiver screen. Matt Mitchell inside the left hash, working his way across the 35 and down to the 38-yard line, where he is wrapped up by Andy Warson.
Elmhurst brought Jake Garabedian on a blitz, and Wheaton just dumping it off over the middle, gaining 6 yards, setting up 2nd and short.
2nd and 4. Peltz over the middle. It is juggled and snared by Keegan Kemp. He crosses midfield and is down to the Elmhurst 48, and another Wheaton first down. This Thunder offense is moving the ball at will against the Elmhurst defense.
Excuse me, Tim. No, you're not kidding. They really are doing a great job of using these short patterns, get the ball out of Peltz's hands quickly so that Elmhurst has no chance of getting pressure in the pocket. Peltz with all the time in the world to throw these short slants and screen patterns.
1st and 10, Kemp in motion, handoff, no, Peltz keeps, and he is wrapped up in the backfield for a loss of a yard. Again, it is Warson leading the way.
And for as much success as Wheaton has had throwing the football, they haven't had as much running the football, just a couple of big plays from Peltz, but the majority have been bottled up very well by this Elmhurst rush defense. We'll see if the secondary can get involved, limit the passing game.
14-7, Wheaton with the lead as we near 2 minutes to play in the first quarter. The Thunder set up 2nd and 11 from the Elmhurst 49. Pugnitis motions to the right. Peltz throwing, fade, far side, looking for the size advantage with Luke Thorson. A flag comes in, contact between Thorson and Carr. It is incomplete, but multiple flags thrown. And they're going to call offensive pass interference on this one.
That was a play where Marvin Carr was actually had position deep, but that's a 14-inch height advantage for Luke Thorson over Marvin Carr. And that time, I believe, it was almost you usually see the defenders on the short side and the receiver on the far side, but this time it was flipped around, and Thorson ran right into Carr, and he was given the penalty instead.
Luke, I think I am 14 inches taller than you.
You could say that about right now.
2nd down and 26 after the mark-off, back to the Wheaton 36-yard line. 4 wide receivers. It is a sweep to Keegan Kemp, and the ball pops loose. Kemp puts it on the ground. It's recovered by Elmhurst at the Wheaton 46-yard line. On the recovery for the Blue Jays, John Eliadis. That was popped out at the last minute.
It looks like the ball was out. It's a good call by the officials, and our first turnover of the game gives the Blue Jays good field position inside Wheaton territory. Just a huge play of the Elmhurst defense. Wheaton offense rolling and rolling for a while there, and then a couple of penalties given up by the Thunder, force him into a 2nd and long, and then they cough up the ball.
It's exactly what the Elmhurst defense needed. Elmhurst -3 in the turnover department this year. Wheaton +4. First and 10 for Elmhurst from the Wheaton 46, down 14-7 with 2:14 to go in this opening quarter. Camilleri, play fake to Williams. Curls to his left, throws, it is dropped again. Wow. Claxon had it in his hands with open field and he couldn't hang on.
I thought he made the catch, to be honest. I was shocked when he turned around, he didn't have the football with him, but it's another drop, second drop by Garrett Claxon, and something that the Blue Jays cannot have when you're playing against a team as good as the Wheaton College Thunder.
Second and 10 on the right hash mark. Camilleri breaks the huddle with a 3-wide look. Claxon, the tight end, lined up to the left. 4 down linemen for the Thunder. Here's the snap. The give is to Williams. Williams to the 45, looks for the corner, and he'll actually end up losing some of the yardage he gained, which is going to end up being no gain on the play. And 3rd and 10, he had the 45 and tried to kick it to the corner and ends up out of bounds at the 46. So it is 3rd and 10 as Elmhurst tries to counter on this Wheaton turnover with less than 2 minutes to play in the first quarter.
And Josh Williams, I think he has to get north-south there. I don't think you can just bounce it outside, try to make a big play. The Wheaton Thunder defense has done a great job sideline to sideline. You just got to force it upfield, gain a couple of yards, and take it for 3rd down.
A big 3rd down with 1:38 and running left in this first quarter. Camilleri takes the snap, drops to throw, steps up. He has Miller. Miller shuffling out of bounds inside the 35 for an Elmhurst first down.
That's a huge 3rd down conversion for the Blue Jays to the sure-handed Kalen Miller on the near side, able to get open in front of his corner and defender, and able to make a nice play for the Blue Jays, keep this drive alive, keep that defense off the field, and keep the offense on.
1st and 10 at the Wheaton 34-yard line. This after a Keegan Kemp fumble. Elmhurst looking to, at the very least, put 3 points on the board in this busy first quarter. Claxon motions left. It is a flip to the left side. And Tyler Smith hauls it in. Smith with some space on a pseudo screen, plunging inside the 30 down to the 26.
Smith listed as the number 2 linebacker on the, number 2 running back, I should say, on the depth chart. But he's just a player where if the Blue Jays can get him in space and get him somewhere to run, he is extremely quick, and he can make a big play out of nothing. So there's one of the plays there where they've lined him up as a receiver for much of this game.
Gain of 8 on the play. 2nd and 2 on the left hash with less than 30 seconds to go in the quarter. Camilleri will keep straight ahead. Keeps his feet driving forward, has a first down, nearing the 20-yard line. Finally brought down at the 22.
Another wrinkle of the Elmhurst offense, as we mentioned, Camilleri just running, and that's another first down for them. Good play by him, seeing the open field, and he didn't have much, but he was able to force himself forward for a couple extra.
Is it the final play of a busy first quarter? Certainly appears that way, although Elmhurst will break the huddle with inside of 10 seconds remaining, down 14-7. A 1st and 10 from the Wheaton 23. And Camilleri will walk to his right and just let the clock expire. 15 minutes in the books. Wheaton 14, Elmhurst 7. But Elmhurst deep in Wheaton territory following the game's first turnover, looking to potentially tie the score. The second quarter is next on Blue Jay TV.
To invite all Blue Jay football fans to join them after the game at Fitz's Spare Keys, located at 119 North York Street in downtown Elmhurst. Fifth quarter event will be attended by all players and coaches and will start approximately 30 minutes after the end of today's game. We would like to thank Fitz's Spare Keys for their sponsorship of this opportunity and hope to see all of the Blue Jay fans, parents, and supporters at Fitz's Spare Keys tonight.
Switching sides, headed to the second quarter. Elmhurst moving right to left, following a Keegan Kemp fumble. The Blue Jays have a 1st and 10 at the Wheaton 23, trailing 14-7. A busy first quarter. Saw the teams roll up almost 250 yards of offense combined, 30 total plays. We'll give you a full breakdown momentarily. Camilleri out of the shotgun. Claxon in motion. To his right, back to his left. Camilleri drops, steps, throws into the zone defense. And it is caught at the 10-yard line. Adam Bowers with the grab.
Bowers does a great job of just finding the soft spot in the zone, and it was not a big window for Joe Camilleri to throw into, but he zipped the ball right into where it needed to be. Nice throw by Camilleri. Good catch by Bowers to convert for another first down.
Well, if I told you Elmhurst had the top running back in the CCIW in the first quarter, you wouldn't believe me. 6 rushes, 6 total yards on the ground for Elmhurst. Josh Williams, 3 carries, only 2 yards. That has definitely been the focal point of this Wheaton defense to start. 1st and 10, just outside the 10. Clock running with 14:25 to play in the first half. Camilleri keeps, throws, and it's nearly intercepted. His pass was behind Kalen Miller.
Intended for Miller.
Another one of these plays where Joe Camilleri just pulls it right out of the belly and has a couple of options, and he had no option to run as he was being swarmed, so he just tried to get rid of the ball quickly. And that was a very dangerous throw, almost intercepted by the Wheaton defense.
Camilleri 6 out of 10 in the first quarter, 106 yards and a touchdown. 3 of those completions to Kalen Miller, his target moments ago. 86 yards, including a 71-yard touchdown on the game's first possession. Josh Williams to the left of Camilleri. Tyler Smith in motion. It is a give to Williams, straight ahead, huge hole, to the pylon, touchdown. Josh Williams will give Elmhurst an opportunity to tie the score, straight ahead.
That's one of those times where the Wheaton defense was swarming even with Tyler Smith. Williams hasn't done much in the game. They let off of him for a second. Williams able to find the hole to the left and straight up the middle for the Elmhurst touchdown.
8th rushing touchdown of the season for Williams, punctuating the turnover. And Bayer on to even the score. Snap is down, kick is up, it is no good, wide right. So the Thunder maintain the lead by a single point at 14-13. On the run by Josh Williams following his blockers. Maybe it's a case of Elmhurst trying to use the pass to set up Williams today.
Usually it's the run that sets up the pass in the Joe Camilleri run. This time, and in this game, it's been the Joe Camilleri run and the pass option that has opened up a hole for Josh Williams. So just his first big carry of the game. And that's very uncharacteristic of Brett Bayer, who was 24 of 24 on the year for PATs before missing that one. So obviously a gimme point that the Blue Jays wish they could have back.
Well, one of the big questions with this Wheaton football team in 2014, who could be the man to step up at quarterback for Jordan Roberts, who was an All-American for the Thunder. They have definitely found their man in Johnny Peltz finally. It took a few weeks and a slow start in the non-conference slate. Even though they were winning games, none of those were really in impressive fashion. Peltz in the first quarter, 6 rushes, 75 yards. 4 out of 4 through the air for 47 yards, and he's accounted for both touchdowns. It is 14-13, Wheaton with the advantage. Brett Bayer restarting play for the Thunder. Keegan Kemp and Matt Mitchell, the deep men for Wheaton, standing at the 5-yard line. 14-14 to play in the second quarter. Bayer with the kick. Line drive to the near side, bouncing at the 17 and skipping out of bounds inside the 10. So Wheaton ends up with solid field position again. The Thunder took advantage of great field position to score the second touchdown, which is right now the difference in the ball game. Elmhurst utilizing a turnover in a short field to pull within 14-13. And a kick out of bounds will spot the Thunder on the right hash at the 35-yard line, leading 14-13 with 14:14 to go in this first half. Double tight look for the Thunder with tight ends on either side of the line. The lone back is Geary. Peltz with the snap, stepping, throwing. It is caught. Keegan Kemp onto the Elmhurst side of the field, down to the 42.
Another beautiful throw by Johnny Peltz. He's got the linebackers under Kemp, and then he has the safety over the top, and he just drops it right into Kemp. Easy catch and an easy first down conversion.
Both teams are really finding the soft spots in the defense. Elmhurst showing pressure from the left side of the line. And Peltz will check it off, looking towards the Wheaton sideline. Play clock down to 15. Again, a double tight end set. Geary on the handoff, runs left, past the tackle, huge hole. Geary with a stiff arm inside the 30, down to the 27-yard line, and a Wheaton first down.
It's very good blocking by the Thunder. And then great job by Geary of turning it north-south at his first opportunity. Turning it up north-south. Great job now Wheaton running the hurry up.
And it's Geary again, straight ahead, a gain of just a yard. Geary with 3 carries in the opening quarter, only 1 yard. Kind of an underrated back in the CCIW. Gain of a yard on the play, now 2nd and 9 from the 26-yard line. 14-13, Wheaton with the advantage. A change at the running back position as Danny Puknitis is on. And Peltz on a design keep out of the gun. Stutter steps his way inside the 25 down to the 22.
And here comes a really critical play for both teams in a third down. Wheaton looking to continue their offensive success and keep this offense rolling, and the Blue Jays really looking to get off the field, force Wheaton into a field goal attempt, give the ball back to their offense here early in the second quarter.
Well, if you're looking for game-changing moments, circle this one. Sam Cody, a very capable kicker potentially for Wheaton, has nailed a 38-yard field goal previously. This will be a little bit longer if the Thunder do not gain another yard. It is a pass play, and Peltz to Matt Mitchell, past the numbers on the right side, and he'll have a first down, working his way shy of the 10-yard line to the 11.
Mitchell did a nice job of making his defender look silly there. Valdez Honorable coming in, and then just a great move by Mitchell, the Wheaton receiver, cutting inside, able to get beyond the first down and gain a couple extra yards.
14-13, Wheaton on top. The Thunder looking to respond. With 12:09 to play in this first half, it is 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line. Peltz with a fade to the right corner of the end zone, looking for the big Thorson. Does he make the catch in bounds? Yes, according to the side judge, touchdown, Wheaton. Valdez Honorable pleading for an offensive pass interference call again, and you can see clearly the Thunder have decided to take advantage of that huge size differential in the secondary.
The 6'6" receiver, I was just waiting for them to throw a fade to him at some point. That's his 8th touchdown of the year. You got to assume it is with his 6'6" frame that many of his touchdowns look just like that on the season.
11:56 to play. The snap is down. The kick from Cody is up and curls through the left side of the uprights. It is 21-13. Luke Thorson, the 5th leading receiver in the CCIW, on the fade into the corner for the Wheaton touchdown as the Thunder answer instantly, marching 65 yards down the fields.
The great thing about having a receiver that tall is that throw wasn't even as good as it could have been. It could have been even higher, but just the fact that Thorson is so strong and so tall makes that throw so much easier for Johnny Peltz, the new quarterback in for Wheaton in the recent weeks. Just making it easier on his quarterback is Thorson with his height and with his strength.
Second touchdown pass for Peltz today. 21-13, Wheaton up 8, early second quarter. Andrew Haynes places it down on the tee for the Thunder. Tyler Smith, Josh Williams standing at their own 5. Thunder in the all-white uniform tops today. The blue helmets with the orange W on the side. Here's the kick. It is high and short. Smith takes it from the 16, straight ahead and upended at the 25-yard line. That had a lot of hang time underneath, even though it was a short kick, and Smith did not have an opportunity for much to develop, but there is a flag, and the flag will indicate offside against Wheaton. So do you take the ball as it stands at the 25, or do you make Wheaton re-kick?
Based on what the Elmhurst kickoff crew has done so far today, I think they might just take the 25.
Apparently they added 5 yards to the end of the run out to the 30.
That's right. Just take the return to the 30, as Wheaton's coverage team has done a great job of holding the Elmhurst playmakers, Tyler Smith and Josh Williams, to short kickoff return. So I think smart call by the Blue Jay coaching staff there.
Second penalty on Wheaton today. 1st and 10 for Elmhurst. Smack dab in the center of the field. Lining up from their own 30, Camilleri fakes to Williams. Runs to his left, and he will dump it off to Garrett Claxon. Claxon out across the 35 to the 36 before he is knocked out of bounds by Wes Cannoneer.
Claxon, the leading receiver for the Blue Jays. 38 catches coming into this game, and a couple in this one as well. Love to find him in the flat. Slants over the middle, just short, easy completions for Joe Camilleri to his target Claxon, who's had a couple of drops today, but easily catches that one.
Second catch today for Claxon. Pickup of 6, 2nd and 4 on the left hash with 11:20 to play in this first half. 21-13, Wheaton in front. Camilleri, a design keep. Down the center of the field. First down distance out to the 44-yard line. Josh Aldrin, the junior from Woodridge, on the tackle for Wheaton.
Great job reading the defensive end. It was Todd, and Todd bottled up Josh Williams, and that's why Camilleri pulled it out of his belly. Reading the defensive end well on the option and taking it to the outside, gaining a first down.
11 minutes to play in this first half. 21-13. Elmhurst trailing. The Blue Jays lined up at their own 44, 1st and 10. Trips to the far side, the pistol look for Camilleri. Takes the snap, throws to the right, in the paws of Kalen Miller. Miller stutter steps in between the numbers towards the far hash marks, crossing midfield onto the Wheaton side, down to the 47-yard line, and a gain of 9.
Miller has really propelled himself into a role of big playmaker for the Blue Jays, and he showed his stuff there, able to elude many tacklers. Looked initially like a couple of Wheaton players got off a couple of blocks, perhaps could make the play for a short gain. Instead, Miller sidesteps a couple of tackles, makes it all the way 9 yards, and 2nd and short for the Blue Jays.
Both of these teams have been very good at the second step today, making the defenders miss the initial tackle and gaining a couple of extra yards. 2nd and 1. Miller in motion from left to right. It is Williams on the give. Williams past the tackles to the outside, beyond the hash marks, and he will gain a first down inside the 45-yard line, down to the 43.
Williams once again trying to bounce it outside, trying to get around that initial tackler, but a nice play by the Wheaton defender there, bottling him up before he could get north-south, and that's something I'm interested to see if Josh Williams continues to try to bounce it outside, or if he starts trying to be more of the physical north-south back that we've seen in previous weeks.
Williams, a junior, the brother of Scotty, who claimed the Gallardi Trophy as the top player in Division III in 2012 for Elmhurst. Camilleri keeps. Camilleri, huge opening inside the 30, still on his feet, stripped at the 20, and Wheaton takes it away. Camilleri had a huge hole, gained about 20 yards, and he was stripped away by Alex Mendez, who was shaken up earlier. And the Thunder recover a big turnover.
And that looked like it was going to be a huge play for Camilleri. He sidestepped a couple tackles, broke one tackle, but then just a great individual play by the Wheaton defense, and Mendez
Mendez gets credit for
and he just made a great play to strip the ball, as we saw there, giving essentially making amends for the earlier turnover by the Wheaton offense, putting them back on the field and limiting that Elmhurst scoring opportunity, getting into the red zone.
1st and 10 for Wheaton on the right hash from their own 21. It is a keeper for Peltz, running left down the center of the field and stumbling across the 25 to the 27 for a gain of 6. Elmhurst turned a Wheaton mistake into a touchdown. Can the Thunder take advantage after the Blue Jays were on the move? It is 2nd and 4 from the 27-yard line. And motion up front on both ends of the line for the Thunder. The right tackle and the tight end lined up on the outside of the left portion of the line.
That's something we haven't seen from the Thunder yet today. It's been the Blue Jays who have had a lot of penalties, couple of false starts, and the kick out of bounds that have had them struggling with field position. Now Wheaton will get backed up after the gain by Peltz. Essentially almost back to the original line of scrimmage.
3rd penalty on Wheaton today. Sets up 2nd and 9. Back to the 22-yard line. Peltz surveys the scene, barks out the call, handles the snap, and puts it into the belly of Puknitis. Puknitis with a juke move, stutter steps right outside the hash marks, and he will gain a 1st down for Wheaton.
Very good blocking by the receivers and the offensive line. Great seal block on the near side. That was number 6, Kemp again, doing a great job in the slot of sealing the hole for his running back.
21-13 Wheaton, 8:10 to play first half. Peltz complete underneath to Thorson, running near side, out of bounds right at midfield, and another Wheaton 1st down.
Easy pitch and catch to Thorson over the middle, just running a little drag pattern. Able to elude a couple of defenders before getting out of bounds at midfield.
21-13, Wheaton on top, 1st and 10 at midfield. Puknitis to the right of Peltz. And an option, Puknitis receives the handoff, runs left towards the sideline, still on his feet, and shoved out of bounds by the Elmhurst defense, and John Eliadis, as the Thunder gain yet another 1st down.
Looked like Gudicki had a hand on him, the Elmhurst nose tackle, and just could not quite make the tackle in the backfield, and so able to get the corner was the running back and get a reasonable gain for Wheaton.
Midpoint of the 2nd quarter. Wheaton with all 3 timeouts available. Elmhurst with 2. It's 21-13, Wheaton with the advantage. 1st and 10 from the Elmhurst 37. Peltz will keep it himself. Angling left. Propels his way inside the 30, near another 1st down. It looks like he might be a touch short, but a big gainer for Peltz, who is having himself quite an afternoon.
And Wheaton has really established the run in this 2nd quarter. They didn't run the ball very well in the 1st quarter, but they passed it extremely well. Now they're just keeping the ball on the ground, throwing short passes when they get the chance, and that's going to open up some play action and some deep plays down the field later in the game.
Peltz on a keep again. Falls forward, a 1st down at the 27-yard line. He has near 100 yards rushing on 9 carries, and he is 8 of 8 through the air today for the Thunder as well.
Just an unbelievable game so far by Johnny Peltz. Managing the game extremely well, making the big plays when he needs to.
Puknitis behind Peltz, and the play clock down to 15 seconds as Peltz checks off. Looks towards the Wheaton sideline for the call. Out of the gun, play fake, steps up, throwing, fade to the corner of the end zone again. It is Thorson, and another touchdown. Luke Thorson with his 2nd grab today. On another fade into the corner from 27 yards away. Peltz is 9 of 9 with 3 touchdowns. And it's now 27-13 Wheaton with 6:19 left in this first half.
What a catch by Luke Thorson, keeping 1 foot in bounds as he's falling out of bounds against the defender, Jake Paulicki. Just an amazing catch there by Thorson.
Give a lot of credit to Johnny Peltz, and we've been mentioning his name repeatedly, but he has put the ball in the absolute perfect spot on the fades. Pressure comes from Elmhurst on the point after, but Cody able to get it off and sneak it through. It's 28-13 with 6:19 left in the second quarter.
You look at the replay, you are totally right with Peltz. What a great throw by him. He put it to the outside right where his receiver was, made it an easier play. Although it wasn't an easy play for Thorson, he put the ball in the right spot, and that's why Thorson was able to make such a great catch.
So each team has converted on a turnover. And it's Wheaton up by 15 here with 6 minutes and 19 seconds to play in the first half. The Elmhurst defense needs to make adjustments. Very little pressure on Peltz. And in the secondary, I don't know if they just need to bring an extra body over to help on that size disadvantage or what. But Wheaton has repeatedly gone to the big target, the 6'6" Thorson, a senior out of Wheaton. Andrew Haynes trying to kick off for the Thunder, but the ball falls off the tee.
The defense is definitely going to have to make adjustments. They're going to have to, I think they really need to bring some pressure on Peltz. I think they need to force him into some errant throws. I mean, he's 9 for 9 in the game. Has not had an incompletion, so put some pressure on him, make him think a little bit, perhaps get him throwing off his back foot, and that could force a turnover.
Haynes with the kick, a high, short one. Tyler Smith will gobble it up at the 10-yard line. Following the right hash, turning to his left and tripped up at the 26-yard line. Tackle made by Austin Brooks.
This is a very critical drive for the Elmhurst offense. 6 minutes and 13 seconds, a time in the clock and in the game where they really want to be in terms of scoring. Obviously trailing by 2 touchdowns, 15 points. Something the Elmhurst offense really needs to get going here and make sure that Wheaton doesn't have another chance to score before halftime, as they will get the ball to start the second half as well.
Joe Camilleri out of the pistol, 1st and 10 from the 25. Camilleri looks to throw, decides to run instead, and he will be wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage as the Thunder drop the Elmhurst quarterback, Jared Todd, leading the stop for Wheaton.
Todd with 8.5 tackles for loss on the season, including one earlier today. Another one right there as it'll set up Camilleri in the offense behind the sticks, 2nd and 11.
Loss of a yard on the play, 2nd and 11 from the 24 with 5.5 to go in the second. Camilleri drops back, steps up, flush from the pocket, ducks underneath, keeps straight ahead and slides for a first down. This time, Camilleri, after he saw the hole, opted to avoid contact, thus keeping the possession for Elmhurst.
Smart play by him after losing the ball on the last drive. Just get down, slide, save yourself, save your body. But you're able to gain the first down nonetheless.
6th carry for Camilleri today, 22 yards. That does account for a sack as well. He's 9 of 14 through the air. 1st and 10 for Elmhurst from their own 35-yard line on the right hash. Trips to the near side as Camilleri drops, steps, throws. Tyler Smith reels it in the flat. Smith is stopped on the near sideline at the 39-yard line. Ball came out, but after Smith was ruled down, a gain of 4 on the play.
Well, it looks like Smith must have been out of bounds when that ball came out, because certainly wasn't on the ground, but the Elmhurst really has to be careful with the ball here, turning the ball over, especially in their own territory. With the way that Wheaton has been going offensively, would just be a real killer for the Elmhurst defense.
Evan Lesky is in as a tight end for Elmhurst. He lines up to the right of Camilleri. It is 2nd down and 6. Camilleri gives to Josh Williams, and he will be strung out and hit back at the 24-yard line by Jared Todd. A big loss on the play.
Jared Todd, the senior from Fort Myers, is having himself a really good game. Able to get in the Elmhurst backfield multiple times, even on this drive. That's 2 tackles for loss on this drive. Giving him over 10 on the season. He's been a huge playmaker for the Thunder defense thus far today.
3rd and 11 from the 34-yard line with 3:25 to play in the second quarter. Elmhurst trailing 28-13. Wheaton shows pressure. Camilleri flushed from the pocket, runs left, cuts it back to his right, steps up on the move. He'll surpass the 45-yard line and dive ahead to the 48 for a first down.
The second great play with Joe Camilleri's legs on this drive, converting a long 3rd down for the second time on the drive. Elmhurst sidelines fired up, and Joe Camilleri single-handedly with his legs keeping this drive going.
3 minutes left in the half. Elmhurst sets up on the right hash from the 48. Trips to the near. Camilleri out of the gun. Barking out the call. Play clock ticking down to 5. Has the snap. Fakes the handoff. Runs left. Flips it off to Miller. And Kalen Miller is at midfield where he is met. And the Thunder have not been fooled by that dump off to Kalen Miller. It was Adam Dansdale leading the way. Gain of just 2 on the play.
I was wondering if the Elmhurst offense was going to go there, because the way Wheaton's defense is set up, the defender who's on Kalen Miller per se is actually about 10 or 15 yards off the line of scrimmage. So if the 2 Elmhurst receivers, the one on the inside and the one on the outside, can hold their blocks and Miller can make one man miss, it could be a big play for Elmhurst.
Wheaton will receive to begin the second half, so this a key 2 minutes for Elmhurst, trailing 28-13, and some confusion resulting in a timeout. Elmhurst spending a timeout. Joe Sanfilippo really wasn't sure on which side he was supposed to line up. He was on the right side, which would have put quad receivers, and he came back to the left, and at that point, Ron Plans, the Elmhurst head coach, said, all right, we need to sort this out here with 1:58 to play. A 28-13 Wheaton advantage. Elmhurst with 1 timeout remaining. The Thunder do have all 3. And Wheaton has moved the ball at will against this Elmhurst defense so far today.
Thorson, 3 receptions, 55 yards, and 2 touchdowns, including the big one, the 27-yard touchdown to the near side on the fade. Johnny Peltz, like you said, 9 for 9, 136 yards, 3 touchdowns as well. He's got 98 yards on the ground. Make that 94, accounting for all 4 Wheaton scores.
He's gained 98. He's lost 4. That's the 94 net. You almost need to have a spy on him, maybe. That's probably the best way you could come up with a linebacker exclusively to spy Peltz.
Be very interested to see what adjustments the Elmhurst defense makes at halftime.
2nd and 8 from midfield following the timeout. Camilleri drops back, fakes the handoff, pumps once, has all day. He's going to curl to his right, looking to throw, keeps towards the far sideline. He is smashed out of bounds, and flags fly as Mikey Swider hits Camilleri late, right at the first down sticks at the Wheaton 42.
And Swider just unloaded on Camilleri, and so did another player. That was Ashby as well. It might have been Ashby, actually, who will get the penalty on him, as he was the one who came in from the left side and just unloaded on Camilleri as he went out of bounds. And so the personal foul will give Elmhurst some very good field position with 1:47 to go. Just trying to get some points on the board before halftime and limit Wheaton before Wheaton gets the ball back to open the second half.
15 yards will place the ball at the Wheaton 27 with 1:47 left in this second quarter. 28-13, Wheaton with the lead. The nationally ranked and unbeaten Thunder meeting the only other conference unbeaten squad, both sitting 4-0. 3 wide to the near side. Josh Williams to the right of Camilleri on first down. Camilleri puts it in the belly of Williams. Nowhere to go to the left. Tried to move back to his right inside the hash marks and is hit instantly for no gain on the play. Josh Aldrin among those for the Thunder.
Williams just 6 carries, 11 yards of net, but he does have the touchdown, and 11 of those yards came on one run, the touchdown run. So Wheaton's defense has done a great job of swarming to the ball and stopping Josh Williams, leading rusher in the CCIW.
Trips far. Kalen Miller one-on-one to the near side. There is some safety help over the top. Camilleri looks right, and he will be dragged down by the shoe tops. As quickly in on the tackle for the Thunder, Logan McCray, the Crown Point, Indiana product. We are inside a minute. It is 3rd and 15.
I think that might have been a miscommunication as McCray came in unblocked. Josh Williams just able to clip him a little bit, but then on the ground just grabbed Camilleri's leg and dragged him down.
Camilleri curling right. Looking, keeping, flag flies. He will gain about 8 on the play down to the 24-yard line, but this appears to be coming back.
Be a hold or a chop block on the far side. It was Josh Williams who tried to sweep the legs.
I'll tell you one thing with Camilleri and the Joe Camilleri, quarterback for Elmhurst, has done such a great job at decision making, especially since it has turned into the CCIW schedule. It is a hold, and it will back up Elmhurst to the 42, make it the 43.
And back to your point about Joe Camilleri's decision making. Before the conference schedule, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions through the air. After in conference play, 7 touchdowns to just 2 interceptions. So definitely, he's done a fantastic job of running this Elmhurst offense. But now, with them backed up, trying to get him back into field goal range.
Inside of 30 seconds, 3rd and 26. Wheaton has 3 timeouts. They won't use any of them here. Camilleri pressured. Dumps it off to Josh Williams on the screen. Williams to the left hash, inside the 35, down to the 33 on what could be the final play, and it's not, as Elmhurst decides to take a timeout with just 3 2/10 remaining on the scoreboard. Down 28-13 today in a matchup of unbeaten squads in the CCIW. Going back to Camilleri, the biggest thing that he's done is not force the ball as much. Instead, opting to tuck and run instantly. And sure, sometimes he's been hit behind the line of scrimmage for a sack, but the second he sees pressure is when he brings the ball down and tries to create something with his feet, and then gives himself the option to potentially throw downfield again or keep, which he's done very effectively today. He's gained 82 yards on the ground, but a net of 61 because he has been sacked today on a couple occasions. Elmhurst is going to line up for a field goal. This is a 50-yard try for Brett Bayer, and Wheaton was caught by surprise. The Thunder spending a timeout.
This would be a 50-yard field goal. Not only that, but there's a lot of wind. It looks like it's just blowing straight towards the near side, so not 100% sure if the wind will be a factor in moving the ball from left to right, and just any wind at all will help knock down the ball per se, especially with the side wind. And you're taking the kick from the left hash, which means you are kicking it back up into the wind, trying to get it to curve back and draw back towards with the wind and towards the near side. So
well, it looks like Ron Plans is going to keep Bayer on the field. Keep in mind, Bayer 5 of 7 this season, but his 2 misses have been blocked. The long is 37. He's only 1 of 3 from 30 yards or longer. This is a 50-yard try from the left hash with 3.2 left in the first half. Good snap, good hold. Kick is going to be way short. Into the wind, and the first half comes to a close with the ball bouncing out of play and Wheaton leading 28-13. Well, a very interesting first half of play. The Thunder will receive the ball to begin the second half, and Elmhurst needs to make some adjustments on the defensive side of the ball. They've been able to move against Wheaton, but for the most part, this Thunder defense has been a bend but don't break look thus far.
They've done a very good job of holding that Elmhurst offense, but I think the key play in that second quarter was the turnover from Joe Camilleri. Camilleri driving, and the Elmhurst offense driving, now in the red zone at that point. Nice play by the defense for Wheaton to get that turnover, and I think that was a huge play for them, as that could have very well, if it ended in a touchdown, we could be saying 28-20 instead, 28-13, and a 2-touchdown advantage for the Thunder heading into the second half.
1 turnover apiece, which has resulted in a touchdown for each side. 28-13, Wheaton on top at the half. The second comes your way in moments on Blue Jay TV.
I was born and raised in Taiwan and moved here 9 years ago. I'm always the type of person that wants to hang out with other people and meet new people. And because the Elmhurst environment, everyone is so friendly, that just make me feel really comfortable being here. The very first organization I joined was the Alpha Sigma Phi fraternity, and that opened the gate out for me to join other organizations.
Playing college football 4 years is very tough, but it's also very, very rewarding. Through Fellowship of Christian Athletes at Elmhurst College, I think has really helped me grow, because I wasn't the most outgoing guy in the beginning, but as my time went on, just meeting new people, I've kind of stepped out and became, more of a witness in my faith. I think, Fellowship of Christian Athletes has helped that, and I think Elmhurst College has encouraged that.
Elmhurst College definitely helped me grow, as in it made it clear to what I wanted to do. It definitely helped build me as the person that I am now. Lambda Chi also had a great significance in that, turning me from a young dude to a gentleman and to a man. And Elmhurst College, definitely the campus, the atmosphere, the culture, the teachers here, the community itself, it was huge. And I think without Elmhurst College, I wouldn't be prepared for the real life.
Well, I think something I'm very passionate about is Habitat for Humanity. So we fundraise lots of money to go down to New Orleans and just help rebuild anywhere we can. Something that the locals there always tell us is just make sure you tell the story and make sure everyone back home knows that it's still not okay. And of course I'm getting more mature and stuff, but I think it's the whole community service aspect of my life that has really changed. A lot of my friends I met through Habitat, the more you're involved in, the more you're going to learn, and just get to meet lots of people.
Was born in Elmhurst, moved to Wheaton when I was 3 or 4, and came back here for school. I felt that Elmhurst really did give me a chance in knowing what to expect, and it really broke me out of my shell and got me to know people better and to become more involved in general. I have a much broader view, a much greater respect for what else is out there.
One One thing I really appreciate about Elmhurst College is the diversity of mindset, both with the students and with the faculty. I had all these constructs of how the world was supposed to work or how the world did work in my head before I came to Elmhurst and before I attended college. And then slowly as I entered the academic world and the social spheres at Elmhurst, I began to realize the multi-dimensional facets of these spheres and how nothing is really as straightforward as you think it to be when you first enter college. And I think that really helped me expand my worldview. Even though we're all so diverse, there are common threads that we may share in our tradition. You find it and it's there.
My Elmhurst experience, it has helped me already grow hugely as a person and be more aware of myself and my beliefs and my values and what I want to do, what I want to be, where I want to go. And I think that my experience here has put me in touch with a lot of people that can help me get there. Even if it is after I graduate, I feel like they're behind me. So I think that that's really a strength that this school has.
Outside of the classroom, I play for the softball team. I am a member of the J-Lights hip hop dance team. And I'm a member of Black Student Union. I know for sure that BSU is very welcoming to new people of all different kind of backgrounds. BSU has helped me to increase my networking skills a lot. It's a small school that can give you the resources of a big school as well as the individual time that you need that only a small school can give you.
I think that we attract so much attention because of the quality of the education we're getting here. They definitely try to bring the professionalism into the classroom. The faculty are incredible and they're still in the business, which is great for music people. It's nice to take classes and take lessons from teachers that are still performing. You know, music is really a universal language. Being in the performing ensembles was one of the great experiences being here.
Being at Elmhurst definitely makes it easier to get involved if you take the initiative to get involved. When I was a first year, I didn't take that step forward until second semester, and I didn't know what to do with myself. But once I took that step forward, people are so welcoming, and it doesn't matter what you want to get involved in. If you want to, they'll let you. And it's with open arms, and it's really easy to, and no one's going to turn you down. And that's what I liked about it so much, and that's what helped me to expand and broaden my horizons with all my different activities.
Elmhurst College is unique in so many ways.
Here we really do have values, and my professors know the values, and they push me to be those values.
Stewardship and faith and community and service, and it really does bring in kind of a level of just interaction with values that you never got before.
But as you kind of develop yourself over the years, you start to realize these values mean so much more, and you start to uncover the true meaning behind them.
You begin to see equivalencies between your life and the school, and then you discover that you're not just in a place of learning, you're also in a place of growing, you're in a place of maturity and value exactly that, core values.
Intellectual excellence means allowing our minds to grow in ways that we've never thought they could before. It means exploring those new pathways, seeing how we could do things different. It means stepping outside of our box of what we know and what we're comfortable with and taking those risks to really grow and make things better. I think that's really the core of what intellectual excellence is.
The professors set the standard of intellectual excellence, and that rubs off on the students, and I feel like that's rubbed off on me.
You really have to push yourself. So to know that's actually a value here is pretty important because that's something I value on my own. So if my college values it as well, that means I really belong here.
To say that Elmhurst College values community, I think, is an understatement. I think Elmhurst College is community in so many ways.
Coming to Elmhurst College, a small college, it has to be about community.
It doesn't really matter who you are or where you've come from, everyone here will just love you for who you are.
The fact that every individual and every unique person is allowed to be in an environment together and learn from each other and grow with each other.
Just the fact that it's smaller and that you form those one-on-one relationships, it encourages like creativity and questioning and all the things I wanted out of my college experience.
Social responsibility means caring for each individual as a person.
There are all these people and they're all more important
than my general happiness as a single person.
You're not only trying to better yourself, but I feel like it also means it's your job that you better your community too.
Knowing that there's something larger than yourself and that you can play a part in making someone else's life better.
Taking what I learned from my family, that others come before me, and translating that into the entire world.
It's really awesome to be in a place where not only are you worrying about academics, but it's also teaching me how to be a better person.
To me, stewardship is just being responsible, really thinking about your actions.
If I'm going to say that, I believe in this philanthropy, I think we should do this, I need to follow through with my actions.
What I found coming to Elmhurst is that there are lots of people that feel the same way. So it was easy to find a group of people who were so engaged in service and so willing to help.
Kind of made me reflect on, what do I value in life? Why am I here? They really did kind of push me to the next level and make me think about that, and I think that I'm a better person for it.
Values really help shape identity. If you really don't understand your values, you're not really understanding a part of who you are.
I was more sheltered until I came here, and Elmhurst has really kind of made me step out of my comfort zone and learn more about what I want to do and what I believe in.
Places like the chaplain's office and the Niebuhr Center for Faith and Action give me safe places where I can go to discuss my faith and to discuss my values with people that I know I trust and people that I know I can count on to influence me and to lead me in the right direction.
You can never be forced out of your faith or forced into a different kind of faith as long as you're at Elmhurst, that you really are given the ability to take your pick and always have encouragement from your peers, never shunned or excluded or pressured into something else. There's always a place for you.
If you believe you're here on this earth for a reason, that's going to affect the way you live your life. That's going to affect the way you treat your academics, the way you treat your social life, the way you look at your future and the goals that you have. Those things seem like really big things, but all of that boils down to the way you live your everyday life.
We value
intellectual excellence, community,
social responsibility,
stewardship,
faith, meaning, and values.
Welcome to the cultural season at Elmhurst College. Elmhurst is a place of values and conviction. We were founded by 19th century reformers who believed in human potential, loved learning, and had standards. More than 140 years later, we still do. We still attract students and teachers who want to think for themselves and act on principles, who challenge and respect one another, who engage, serve, and celebrate our diverse, dynamic, interdependent world. A few years ago, to be clear about things, we wrote down our core values. This year, we asked some of our students what those values mean to them.
Elmhurst College is unique in so many ways.
Here we really do have values, and my professors know the values, and they push me to be those values.
Stewardship and faith and community and service, and it really does bring in kind of a level of just interaction with values that you never got before.
As you kind of develop yourself over the years, you start to realize these values mean so much more, and you start to uncover the true meaning behind them.
You begin to see equivalencies between your life and the school, and then you discover that you're not just in a place of learning, you're also in a place of growing, you're in a place of maturity and value exactly that, core values.
Intellectual excellence means allowing our minds to grow in ways that we've never thought they could before. It means exploring those new pathways, seeing how we could do things different. It means stepping outside of our box of what we know and what we're comfortable with and taking those risks to really grow and make things better. I think that's really the core of what intellectual excellence is.
The professors set the standard of intellectual excellence, and that rubs off on the students, and I feel like that's rubbed off on me.
You really have to push yourself. So to know that's actually a value here is pretty important, because that's something I value on my own. So if my college values it as well, that means I really belong here.
To say that Elmhurst College values community, I think, is an understatement. I think Elmhurst College is community in so many ways.
Coming to Elmhurst College, a small college, it has to be about community.
It doesn't really matter who you are or where you've come from. Everyone here will just love you for who you are.
The fact that every individual and every unique person is allowed to be in an environment together and learn from each other and grow with each other.
Just the fact that it's smaller and that you form those one-on-one relationships, it encourages like creativity and questioning and all the things I wanted out of my college experience.
Social responsibility means caring for each individual as a person.
There are all these people and they're all more important than my general happiness as a single person.
You're not only trying to better yourself, but I feel like it also means it's your job that you better your community too.
Knowing that there's something larger than yourself and that you can play a part in making someone else's life better.
Taking what I learned from my family, that others come before me, and translating that into the entire world.
It's really awesome to be in a place where not only are you worrying about academics, but it's also teaching me how to be a better person.
To me, stewardship is just being responsible, really thinking about your actions.
If I'm going to say that, I believe in this philanthropy, I think we should do this, I need to follow through with my actions.
What I found coming to Elmhurst is that there are lots of people that feel the same way. So it was easy to find a group of people who were so engaged in service and so willing to help.
Kind of made me reflect on, what do I value in life? Why am I here? They really did kind of push me to the next level and make me think about that, and I think that I'm a better person for it.
Values really help shape identity. If you really don't understand your values, you're not really understanding a part of who you are.
I was more sheltered until I came here, and Elmhurst has really kind of made me step out of my comfort zone and learn more about what I want to do and what I believe in.
Places like the chaplain's office and the Niebuhr Center for Faith and Action give me safe places where I can go to discuss my faith and to discuss my values with people that I know I trust and people that I know I can count on to influence me and to lead me in the right direction.
You can never be forced out of your faith or forced into a different kind of faith as long as you're at Elmhurst, that you really are given the ability to take your pick and always have encouragement from your peers, never shunned or excluded or pressured into something else. There's always a place for you.
If you believe you're here on this earth for a reason, that's going to affect the way you live your life. That's going to affect the way you treat your academics, the way you treat your social life, the way you look at your future and the goals that you have. Those things seem like really big things, but all of that boils down to the way you live your everyday life.
We value
intellectual excellence,
community,
social responsibility,
stewardship,
faith, meaning, and values.
Last year we had all of our girls leave except me and another girl, so we kind of got put into our captain positions. And it's not that I didn't want to do it, but I didn't know if I was ready to take that leadership role yet. But because I was thrown into it, I had to do it. So it helped me as a person and to help lead the dance team and be in control. I mean, it's difficult sometimes, no doubt about it. It's very stressful sometimes, but I probably, as much as I complain about it, I probably wouldn't change it for the world because it's making me who I am today.
I have had a great experience at Elmhurst. I'm obviously involved with the volleyball program, and it's been a really good experience for me. I would say we're pretty close because we practice 5 days a week for 2.5 hours. We're lifting, we're doing bonding things, and we're traveling on the weekends. So you're pretty much with these girls for 3 months every single day for hours. So we're all pretty close, and we rely on each other and ask each other for help.
I've had a great experience at Elmhurst, I really have. I think that the college is all about making the individual well-rounded, and I do think that I have grown up a lot since I've been at college. I've played soccer and I'm in the nursing program, and I lived on campus for 2 years. It's been great, and I've made so many new friends, and there's just so much here to offer. I just love it.
Wrestling here has been great. I've been able to achieve some of my goals I've set for myself, and I guess coming to a smaller school in wrestling, I got to be able to start right away and wrestle every year so far. Coming here and be able to compete right away is great. Coming into college, I really didn't know what I was going to do. I was undecided, and then going through taking classes, I figured out what I wanted to do. I want to work with other people, with kids, and help them develop.
It's halftime in Elmhurst. Wheaton 28, Elmhurst 13. Both teams have had an opportunity to head to the locker room and talk things over. I would think if you're Elmhurst, one of the biggest discussions might involve Josh Williams and ending up with the football. He's only touched it 7 times for a grand total of 11 yards to this point in the contest. 28-13 is our score. Wheaton with 282 yards total. Elmhurst with 221. Elmhurst a sided advantage in terms of time of possession, 18-27 versus 11-33. But defensively, Elmhurst has not been able to stop Johnny Peltz. 10 carries, 94 yards, touchdown on the ground. 9 of 9 through the air, 136 yards and 3 touchdowns. I'm Tim Calderwood. Luke Tanaka is back as well. And Luke, we were talking before the break about what Elmhurst can do to try and limit Johnny Peltz. And I don't know that there's a whole lot of ideas available because Peltz is just absolutely on point for Wheaton.
Peltz has been tearing apart the Blue Jay defense, and he did so in that first half. If I'm the Elmhurst defensive staff, I just think you have to change something up on him. You either got to change the coverage, you got to confuse him, you got to bring some extra pressure, perhaps bring some sort of zone blitz, bring something, some sort of pressure on Peltz to make him think a little quicker than he has. He's had a lot of time to throw, and he has some big targets to throw to. So perhaps get him on his back a couple of times if you can, or at least get a hit on him at some point. I don't even think Elmhurst has gotten a hit on Peltz yet today. So if I'm the Elmhurst staff, I want to bring some pressure on Johnny Peltz, and I want to see if he can see how well he handles that pressure in the second half. And as for the Blue Jay offense, I totally agree. Josh Williams, got to get him going if you're going to win this game and keep this offense going. Joe Camilleri has done a great job of really putting the Elmhurst offense on his back, on his shoulders, going 12 for 17 for 149 yards and a touchdown through the air, and then 61 yards rushing on 6 carries and 6.1 yards a carry. So he's really just put the offensive load on himself, but most of those 149 yards through the air came on that one long pass to Kalen Miller in the touchdown. So Elmhurst offense has struggled besides that one play, and if it wants to get going and really start to be effective in the second half, it's going to have to start with Josh Williams and being able to be physical at the line of scrimmage and helping this offensive line open up holes for the Elmhurst running back.
Well, Wheaton will receive to start the second half. Brett Bayer lines up to our left, ready to kick off left to right. Deep for the Thunder, Matt Norton. And Keegan Kemp. 28-13, Wheaton with the advantage. As we are ready to commence the second half of action today. Bayer with the kick. High, angling towards the near side. It is Norton from the 13. Norton stutter steps right, comes to his left along the numbers near side, twisting his way across the 30 and brought down at the 35-yard line. And the stop for Elmhurst, Parodi Charles.
And that's something also that we noticed in the first half is the field position has been heavily in the favor of the Thunder, whether it's on kickoffs, whether it's about penalties. Really, it's been Wheaton's advantage in those aspects, especially early in that first half. So we'll see if the Blue Jays can limit those mistakes, perhaps start to get some special teams plays.
1st and 10 on the left hash for the Thunder from their own 35-yard line. The first play of the second half is a run. And Danny Puknitis, the ball carrier, running right around the corner towards the 38-yard line, a gain of 3.
Seen a lot of Puknitis rather than Geary, the starting running back. Not sure what the story is there, but Puknitis has been in for the majority of the second quarter and now starting the second half.
Puknitis is the back behind Peltz, and again he'll receive the call. Huge opening on the left edge. Up the hash marks, falling ahead to the 43-yard line. And it's going to be 3rd and short for Wheaton. Well, in the first half, Puknitis averaged over 8 yards per carry. Jesse Geary, 4.2 4.2, far from ineffective, but when you can gain 25 yards on 3 carries, might as well go to them. It's a big start to this third quarter. 3rd down and 3. Elmhurst showing pressure. Here it comes all day for Peltz to throw. He finds Thorson at the chains of first down out to the 48-yard line.
Great protection by this Wheaton offensive line. Peltz able to have plenty of time, hardly had to move, stepped into his throw, nobody anywhere near his face. Able to make the easy completion, his 10th on 10 attempts today.
Wheaton 4 of 4 on 3rd down. 28-13, the Thunder in front with 13:35 to play in this third quarter. On the move to begin the second half, a flag flies. Peltz fakes the run, throws, it is caught. And Keegan Kemp on the grab. Let's see what the flag is about. Could be negated here. Back at the 32-yard line is where the catch was made. And actually it's against Wheaton, 5 men in the backfield.
I think it was Kemp who wasn't supposed to be on. It was supposed to be on the line and not in the backfield. When he made the catch, he was very upset with himself, even though he just made the big play. So perhaps he was the man who was the guilty party.
Back it up to the 43 on the left hash. 1st and 15 for Wheaton. And Puknitis straight ahead. Puknitis still on the move across midfield. Puknitis dragging tacklers with him down to the Elmhurst 40.
Downhill running from the Thunder once again, and they're doing a great job of establishing the run early in this second half.
1st and 10, hurry up look. Puknitis running right up the hash marks. Upended at the 35 and a gain of 5. Andy Warson leading the tackling for Elmhurst.
If you would have told me that it would be Wheaton coming out establishing the run and Elmhurst coming out throwing the ball to start the game, I probably would have told you you're crazy. That's what's happened.
Well, this is the first possession for Wheaton in the second half. Peltz over the middle, wide open. Keegan Kemp inside the 10-yard line. Down to the 8, Marvin Carr on the stop. And it is 1st and goal for the Thunder, who are 2 of 2 in the red zone today. And a chance to put some big distance between themselves and Elmhurst early in this third quarter.
Now with a lot of attention drawn to Luke Thorson, there's Keegan Kemp on the other side, right over the middle. Wide open, able to find a seam. Good throw by Peltz.
Thorson does have some safety help over the top. It's a slant to Thorson, and he is stopped just shy of the end zone at the 1-yard line.
It looks like Wheaton's going to hurry up to the line.
Peltz is under center. He will keep moving forward. Did he break the plane? No signal. They'll call him short. 3rd and goal.
Big stop there by the Elmhurst defense, but now 3rd down. You got to think, look out for the fade to Thorson and really any of these receivers that you want to target. All of them over 6 feet tall. But you got to think Thorson's going to line up here on the near side. He's going to be matched up with Jake Paulicki. And they're way off everybody else. Paulicki playing pressure. I wouldn't be surprised to see his fade here to the near side.
Backs to either side. Peltz keeps it himself, unescorted into the end zone. And it's 34-13.
They didn't need to throw it to the near side. It was perhaps just a decoy. Peltz with the option. Perfect decision to keep it himself and straight up the middle untouched for the score.
2nd touchdown on the ground for Peltz today. Who's also thrown for 3. Sam Cody ready for the point after with 11:18 to play in the third quarter. Kick is up. And it's good. 35-13. Wheaton with the lead. 11:18 to play in this third quarter. And you don't want to say that Elmhurst is in need of points this early in the second half, but a key drive coming for the offense if they want to have a chance at hanging around with this Wheaton squad in a matchup of unbeaten programs in conference play today. 9 plays, 65 yards, 3 minutes, 42 seconds for the Thunder. Johnny Peltz on a 1-yard run, his second touchdown today.
Just really a key drive for Wheaton to assert their dominance to start this second half. I mean, they're the ranked team, they're the favorites in this game, and just to be able to assert that coming out of the locker room. Elmhurst defense still, even after a halftime discussion, had no answer for the Wheaton offense on that drive. But now, Blue Jay offense will come back onto the field, and this is going to be, like you said, this is a very, very important drive to answer. You need some sort of points on this drive. Of course, it's early to say that, but with the way the Wheaton offense is rolling, it's almost assured that they really need points on this drive to stay in this game.
Peltz was 3 of 3 on the drive. He's now 12 for 12 today. Andrew Haynes tees it up for the Thunder. High kick towards the near side. Gobbled up at the 6-yard line by Smith. And Smith will angle to his left towards midfield. Tyler Smith dropped at the 22-yard line. And Elmhurst takes over with 11-12 to play in the third, down 35-13.
Now comes Joe Camilleri once again, and you got to think he's going to be the focal point from here on out. We'll see if they try to establish the run with Josh Williams. I'm not sure what they talked about at halftime. Perhaps they talked about establishing Williams. Perhaps they thought about throwing the ball just like they did early in the first quarter and did very successfully. Williams in the backfield now, and we'll see if they go to him.
Play clock down to 10. The pistol formation. Williams behind Camilleri. In motion to the near side, it is Claxon. And Williams will run left on a misdirection play and work his way towards the 30-yard line. Stopped at the 29. Big gain on first down.
That's one of the more positive plays we've seen from Josh Williams in this game. So very good sign for the Blue Jay offense. The Williams was able to gain 9 on that carry. I believe that is his second long carry of the day. He had 1 for 11, the 11-yard touchdown, and then there the 9-yard scamper.
2nd and 1. Brewer in motion. And Camilleri tucks. Camilleri lost the football as he was drilled. It is on the turf, and Wheaton thinks they have it. A pile up. The officials have not signaled. A flag comes in late. And I think they'll say Elmhurst was able to hang on to the ball.
And the flag flew after the play, perhaps extracurricular activities after the play.
It was away from the pile as well.
Very key call as the referees huddle up.
But one of the biggest things to realize is down 22. There's still plenty of time in this game. No reason for Elmhurst to completely abandon the game plan and go to a one-dimensional offense.
Very much agree. You still got to establish the run with Josh Williams, and that will open up the pass, and that's the way the Elmhurst offense has always been.
Scott Curtis still talking with his crew right at midfield to discuss what the penalty might be.
The ball was fumbled and recovered by Elmhurst. Then we had a dead ball.
A personal foul against Elmhurst.
15-yard penalty.
And a 15-yard walk-off. So they will say it was recovered by Elmhurst.
Ball was ripped out by Ashby, and then there was a scrum for the ball. And then we didn't see what the personal foul was.
Well, it turns it from 3rd and 1 into 3rd and 16. Ball is back at the Elmhurst 15 as Camilleri stares towards the near sideline. Receiving directives.
And that's a brutal penalty for the Elmhurst offense, setting up now a 3rd and a mile.
10 minutes to play, 3rd quarter. Wheaton showing pressure up front. Camilleri dropping, stepping, flush from the pocket, curls towards the near side, and he will be dropped behind the line of scrimmage. Logan McCray with his 2nd sack today. back to the 12-yard line, and some great coverage downfield by the Wheaton secondary.
And a long time for the Wheaton secondary to have to cover those Elmhurst receivers. They did a great job as Camilleri was flush trying to extend the play. But even rolling to the near sideline, he had nowhere to throw it. And the Blue Jays will be forced to punt deep in their own territory, give Wheaton some good field position once again to get that their offense back out on the field. Nice stop by the Wheaton defense, but that Elmhurst penalty really did kill the offensive drive. 3rd and 1 versus 3rd and 16 is a completely different scenario.
A short punt from near this point of the field set up the second Wheaton touchdown. Brett Bayer is on to kick for the second time. His first punt covered 35 yards. And a further penalty against Elmhurst. Delay of game. Elmhurst now with 6 penalties in the game for 54 yards, and Bayer backs up to the back edge of the end line. And he shanks it off the side of his foot to the near side. I don't even know if it made it back to the line of scrimmage. Is it possible to have a negative yardage punt? Nah, they're going to walk it up ahead. It'll be about a punt of maybe 5 or 6 yards. Great field position for Wheaton to potentially put this one out of reach.
Wheaton to start 1st and 10 at the Elmhurst 23.
The officials will discuss, and they'll end up spotting it at the 23, 1st and 10 Wheaton. So it's a 15-yard punt.
That shank was, I think it almost looked like a generous spot.
Yeah, that might have been a generous
spot. That might have been a
spot.
very generous spot, but either way, Wheaton offense setting up deep in Elmhurst territory. Perhaps trying to hit a big play on the first play right here. Peltz behind center.
On the left hash, Peltz takes the snap. Flush from the pocket, steps up, throws, looking for Thorson, angling left and into the end zone for a touchdown. Peltz waited for the play to develop, and for the 3rd time today, he hooks up with Luke Thorson as the Thunder need only 1 play to grab a 41-13 advantage here in the 3rd quarter.
We talk about Thorson's height, Thorson's strength. How about his speed there? He just blew past Valdez Honorable on that route. Honorable had no chance, and a nice throw by Peltz to put it just where his receiver could get it. And Thorson made another great play for his 3rd touchdown of the day.
6 catches, 91 yards for Thorson, the 6'6" receiver. Peltz, 13 of 13, 4 touchdowns passing, 95 yards rushing, and 2 touchdowns on the ground as well. Wheaton taking control with 14 points in the first 7+ minutes of this 3rd quarter. It's 42-13 Wheaton with 8:42 remaining in the 3rd quarter, and Elmhurst now needs to play catch-up.
Thorson now 10 touchdowns on the season receiving. 3 today, and he's really just been a dominant force for the Wheaton offense today. But Peltz has also done a fantastic job getting him the ball in the right spot. I mean, Peltz still has not thrown an incompletion yet today, and the Blue Jay defense just hasn't been able to get the pressure on Peltz that they need to. Peltz has been able to stand back in that pocket, just hop and move around in the pocket until he finally finds an open target. And the Elmhurst secondary is, they've tried, but they've had a really tough task to stay with these Wheaton receivers, especially when Peltz extends the play.
Efficiency is not an official statistic. However, the efficiency rating for Johnny Peltz, 330.1. 13 of 13, 199 yards, and 4 touchdowns through the air.
It's really been just unbelievable performance by the Wheaton quarterback.
Andrew Haynes to kick off. Josh Williams, Tyler Smith standing at the 5. It is a short kick. Smith will handle it at the 6-yard line. He'll move straight ahead, try to work his way to the near hash marks, and he is dropped hard by the Thunder on special teams.
At this point, it's just who's going to make a big play. Is it going to come on special teams? It sure seems like Wheaton's done a great job of coverage on special teams all today. Elmhurst has hardly started a drive anywhere far beyond their 20-yard line. I believe their best field position to start a drive off a kickoff came from the 35, and it was because of a Wheaton penalty.
A train rolling past Langhorst Field off in the distance, similar to the way the Wheaton offense has rolled over Elmhurst thus far. 375 yards, over 10 yards per play. 8:35 to play. Camilleri takes the snap, and it is knocked down. Logan McCray on the denial. And 2nd down and 10 for Elmhurst from the 20-yard line.
And that time, Camilleri under pressure. Camilleri's been under pressure a lot in today's game, and Wheaton's had at least 2 or 3 sacks and just been really in Camilleri's face a lot. Camilleri's been flushed outside of the pocket and had to throw on the run. He's done well with that, but it's hard when you're always on your back or always on the move as your quarterback.
2nd and 10. Camilleri fakes the handoff. He'll flip it to the left, and absolutely nothing there. The catch reeled in by Connor Brewer. He was hit instantly. Wheaton not fooled. And 3rd and 10.
Like Mendez there on the hit, just doing a great job of getting off his block. Adam Bowers couldn't hold the block for long enough to allow the Elmhurst receiver to get going. And again, it'll set up another 3rd and long, and this is a time for the Wheaton defensive line, which has been dominant in this game, to pin their ears back on a true passing situation.
Well, a quick 3 and out could really spell disaster for Elmhurst today. Trailing 42-13 with 7:45 to play in the 3rd. Flag flies as Camilleri rolls right, cuts back to his left, steps up, throws for Brewer. He makes the catch. On the Wheaton side as another flag comes in. Brewer at the Wheaton 31 for a 1st down. But what will we have here penalty-wise?
Looks like the first one is going to be offsides on Wheaton. I'm not sure whether probably pass interference is the other call. I just don't know who it's on. Get the call here from the official.
There's an offside on Wheaton, declined, and a pass interference on the Thunder declined as well. So a 3rd down conversion for Elmhurst and 1st down at the Wheaton 31 on the big pass play. Camilleri to Brewer.
A nice play by Brewer there. Over the shoulder catch. Camilleri just throwing it deep, and Brewer was there to make the play. You knew he had a free play, as he knew the offsides was on Wheaton, so throwing it up, and Brewer able to make a nice play.
1st and 10 in the center of the field. Camilleri waits with Williams behind him. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, pumps left, looks left again, steps up, decides to tuck and run inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. Gain of 3, making a little something out of nothing for the Blue Jays offensively, with 7:05 to play in this 3rd quarter, and Wheaton leading 42-13.
The Wheaton defense did a great job of sniffing out that screen that Elmhurst likes to throw. The Wheaton defense was all over it. They had a couple guys back there. As we look once again back at the long pass play to Brewer. Just a nice throw by Camilleri, putting it in the right spot, and Brewer making the over-the-shoulder catch. But the Wheaton defense starting to sniff out some of the Elmhurst plays that they love to go to see if the new wrinkles can be brought in here, the Elmhurst offense, keep it going.
2nd and 6, option for Camilleri. He keeps, slides underneath the tackler down to the 23-yard line. McCray wraps him up, and it'll be just shy of a 1st down. Sets up 3rd and 2.
Good job by Camilleri. 2 hands on the football that time. He did fumble once in this game, knowing that you cannot afford another turnover at this point in the game. Holding on to that football with 2 hands and setting up 3rd and short.
Josh Williams to the left of Camilleri. On 3rd down and 2 from the right hash. It is a handoff to Williams on the option. Williams takes off down the left side of the field and into the end zone for the touchdown. Camilleri waited until the last possible minute to commit on the handoff to Williams, and he broke to his left down the hash marks for his 2nd touchdown today with 5:43 to play in the 3rd quarter.
And there's a wrinkle right there where they fake the option to the right and then just go on a counter to the left, and Williams counters towards the left side and turns straight north-south. Able to run for another touchdown, Josh Williams getting the ball running for the Elmhurst offense.
Bayer on for the extra point. And it is up tucked in through the left upright out of the hold of Tom Finucane. 42-20, Wheaton leads with 5:43 to play in this third quarter.
And here you see the counter once again. They're going to fake the option to the right. Camilleri is going to hold, and then Williams just takes it from Camilleri and runs off to the left. Nice play called by the Elmhurst coaching staff, knowing that the Wheaton offense was swarming towards the run. Run a counter, keep them honest, and end up scoring a touchdown.
9 carries for Josh Williams, only 43 yards on the ground, but he does own a couple of touchdowns. 23-yard score seconds ago, his longest today. The fewest yards in a contest this season for Josh Williams came early on this year. He was held to 53 yards in a game against the University of Chicago and 68 yards in a game against Loras. What's the common denominator between those two games? Both were losses for Elmhurst, the only losses on the season.
And then here at Langhorse Field, I remember calling the University of Chicago game. They did a really wonderful job, as Wheaton has done today. Really, the defensive line was the key for them in that game, and for Wheaton, it's just been an entire team effort of swarming to the ball to stop Josh Williams.
Brett Bayer with a high kick, backing up to the 5-yard line. It is Tyler Sigler. Sigler angles left, past the numbers towards the near sideline, and is dragged down at the 25-yard line, 1st and 10. Williams in the CCIW with 300-yard performances. He has a pair of 200-plus yard performances this year, 306 against Olivet, 41 against Carthage. This is only his second contest of the year with more than one rushing touchdown, however.
They usually set the run with Josh Williams, sets up Camilleri pulling it out of the belly and scoring the touchdowns. That's how he's accumulated 8 on the season.
On the near hash mark, a flag flies at the snap with 5:34 left in the third. And movement on the Wheaton line will back up the Thunder to the 20-yard line.
One of the first procedure penalties we've seen from Wheaton, and they've certainly not beaten themselves in any way, just keeping their offense rolling and rolling and rolling throughout this game.
The running back is Puknitis to the right of Peltz, who throws deep to the near sideline over the left shoulder of Kemp for his first incompletion of the day. After 13 consecutive passes completed to start, he finally throws an incompletion, but shall we say it was a good incompletion because it was out of the reach of only Kemp.
It was definitely thrown in the right spot, a place where only his receiver could get it. And it just kind of drifted over the sideline for his first incompletion of the game.
Honorable showing blitz. Peltz throws right, completes to Kemp. Kemp still on his feet, jumps over the top of a couple tacklers, crossing the 30, out to the 36-yard line, and a Wheaton first down.
Something underrated about this Wheaton team is their blocking by their receivers. You see it on the far side, that was a great block to seal the edge by a Wheaton receiver. Doing a really good job of just helping his teammate. That was Lindquist on the block, just allowing Kemp to get a lot of yards after the catch.
Gain of 16 on the play, and now a sweep as Matt Mitchell receives the give, and he'll surpass the 40-yard line. Moving ahead for another first down out to the 46, and a gain of 11 with 5:01 left in the third. It's 42-20, Wheaton on top, and the Thunder moving the ball again. Over 10 yards per play today for Wheaton. And it continues here in this third quarter. Peltz to throw. Thorson on the Elmhurst side, inside the 45, down to the 42, and yet another Wheaton first down.
Easy pitch and catch to the near side. Peltz against Thorson. Thorson gets inside position on Marvin Carr.
7th catch today for Thorson. He's over 100 yards receiving. Johnny Peltz over 200 yards through the air today. In addition to 95 on the ground, he has accounted for all 6 Wheaton touchdowns. 42-20 Thunder with the lead. 1st and 10 at the Elmhurst 42. On the near hash, Kemp in motion. It's a fake. Peltz keeps. And he lowers his body inside the 40, motoring to the 37-yard line and a gain of 5. That'll put him at 100 yards on the afternoon.
Peltz, just another wrinkle of the offense that they've been showing. Peltz with the keeper. And with an empty backfield, just a design keeper for him as they spread out the Elmhurst offense, try to get something going through the middle. The Wheaton offensive line doing a nice job of opening up holes for Peltz.
2nd and 5. Peltz on the play fake. All day to throw. Through the hands of Kemp, who was open. It was a touch high. And 3rd down and 5 from the Elmhurst 37 with 3:38 to play in this 3rd quarter.
Although it was a touch high, that's definitely a catch that Kemp could make. And Peltz, I think, did a good job of putting that in a nice spot. It could have been a little bit lower, but even throwing it high to these tall receivers is certainly not a bad decision.
This is a big play for the Elmhurst defense. 3:38 to play in the quarter. Flags fly before the snap. Motion against Wheaton again. And it'll make it 3rd and 10. Back to the original line of scrimmage at the 42.
Very interesting. Not accustomed so far in this game to seeing Wheaton having these procedure penalties and pushing them back, but this time it has, and now it'll make it a 3rd and long, but they are averaging 10 yards a play, so still a key play for the Blue Jay defense to try to get this stop.
Peltz looking to throw deep over the middle. That is caught at the 2-yard line. Keegan Kemp. Boy, that was into double coverage.
And just another unbelievable throw by Johnny Peltz. Exactly, again, and it has been all day, only where his receiver can get it. And I've been just extremely impressed by the way Peltz has played this whole game and the way he's managed the game, both through the air and on the ground.
Peltz decides to keep straight ahead. No indication. Is he in? Touchdown, Wheaton. 3rd rushing touchdown for Peltz today, to go along with 4 through the air, and the Thunder take advantage of a big play on 3rd and long to pad the lead. They have scored on all 3 second-half possessions.
Yeah, and just Peltz straight up the middle, but the key pass play is the one that you remember on that drive. It's 3rd and 10. You just had a procedure penalty to back yourselves up, and then Johnny Peltz just throws right into the breadbasket of Keegan Kemp at the 2-yard line, setting up that easy touchdown.
Snap is down. Sam Cody with the kick, and it is good with 3:20 to play in the 3rd. 49-20, Wheaton with the advantage. The big play continues to haunt this Elmhurst defense. Peltz 101 on the ground, 3 touchdowns, 268 through the air with 4 scores, including 13 in a row before his first completion. Keegan Kemp, 6 grabs, 132 yards. Luke Thorson, 7 catches, 103 yards and 3 touchdowns. Those have been the primary targets for Johnny Peltz. And Peltz has utilized a simplified playbook to turn himself into an elite quarterback for Wheaton over the past couple of weeks. 7 touchdowns and no interceptions in CCIW play.
He completed 22 of 28 passes last week against North Central in what was perhaps the biggest win of their season, you'd think. And in the little battle for the Little Brass Bell that usually decides the CCIW title.
Andrew Haynes with a high, deep kick, backing Tyler Smith up to the 6-yard line. Near side numbers. He'll cut left up the hash marks. Stopped shy of the 25-yard line at the 23 by Kyle Fox. And it's 1st and 10 for Elmhurst, down 49-20 with 3:14 to go in this 3rd quarter.
Now we'll see what the Elmhurst offense tries to do, but down by 29 with 3 minutes and then the fourth quarter remaining. See if they try to go straight to the air, try to hit a big play, or if they continue to try to pound the football with Josh Williams, just continuing to work on this offense for the rest of this game and see what Camilleri does out of the pistol.
Camilleri options left. He will keep and on his feet for a gain of 2 to the 26-yard line. David Sumanen on the stop.
Simple option for Camilleri, elects to keep, just gaining a few yards. Had the option to pitch, but chose to just dive forward himself. Kalen Miller on the far side, matched up with Alex Mendez. Interesting matchup of the top Elmhurst receiver versus the top Wheaton corner on the far side.
Handoff to Williams. Straight ahead, and he meets the Wheaton defensive line. A gain of just a yard on the play. Really all season in the case of Josh Williams, the vertical rushing game has been hard to come by. It's when he's gone outside the tackles that he has been most effective.
Gain of 1 on the play.
He uses his quickness and all those cuts that he can do to break tackles, and he's not quite a straight ahead bruiser. He is a guy that you love to get out in space because he is so fast and he can make cuts so quickly to make defenders miss.
3rd down and 7 from the 27 on the left hash mark. Williams is the back behind Camilleri, who opts to keep. Camilleri tripped up. The tackle from Josh Aldrin saves a first down as Camilleri gains 4 yards to the 30. And it'll be 4th down for Elmhurst, and on comes the punt unit.
Great play there by the Wheaton defense, getting a 3 and out right there. The shoestring tackle, if that tackle isn't made, that's probably an easy first down for Camilleri, but instead the Elmhurst offense forced off the field again. Wheaton defense doing good to get a 3 and out there.
Tom Finucane on to punt, a 28-yard punt on his first try. This takes an Elmhurst bounce at the 42, and it will roll to a stop at the Wheaton 31. Inside of a minute to play, 3rd quarter, 49-20, Wheaton with the advantage. The Thunder offense has struck for touchdowns on all 3 possessions in the quarter and have 69 yards to go here with a 49-20 advantage on the board. Johnny Peltz out of the pistol, and the Thunder will run. It's Puknitis straight ahead for a gain of 3 out to the 34-yard line.
We have just gotten word that Puknitis has had a lot of success on the ground, but also that Jesse Geary, the starting running back, is injured in the first half and is questionable to return to the game. But Puknitis has done a very, very good job and the running back position replacing Geary in the second half.
Inside of 30 seconds to play in this 3rd quarter. Play clock down to 10 as Peltz checks off at the line of scrimmage. He takes the snap and hands off to Puknitis. Running left as a flag flies. Puknitis towards the hash marks is stopped at the 36. A gain of 2, but that is pending the penalty, which is a hold against the Thunder.
Holding penalty against Wheaton.
And I'm sure despite the 29-point lead that the Wheaton coaching staff is still not very happy with all these penalties they've been having in the last couple of drives. 2 false starts on the last drive, now the holding penalty to back them up, just making it a little tougher on their offense. They have been rolling all day. Despite those 2 penalties on the last drive, they still were able to get the touchdown and the long play to Keegan Kemp, and then the sneak by Peltz to bang it in.
10-yard walk-off to the 24, 2nd and 17. I don't think we'll see the Thunder snap the football before the end of the 3rd. The clock winding down. And 3 quarters in the books. Wheaton 49, Elmhurst 20. The Thunder continue to move the ball at will against the Elmhurst defense, which entering action today was the top defense in the CCIW. 15 minutes left in this contest. It's 49-20, Wheaton in front. This is Blue Jay TV.
Wrestling here has been great. I've been able to achieve some of my goals I've set for myself, and I guess coming to a smaller school in wrestling, I got to be able to start right away and wrestle every year so far. Coming here and be able to compete right away is great. Coming into college, I really didn't know what I was going to do. I was undecided, and then going through taking classes, I figured out what I wanted to do. I want to work with other people, like with kids, and help them develop.
To the fourth quarter. Teams switch sides. Wheaton now moving left to right here in the fourth. 49-20 up on the scoreboard. Wheaton with the advantage. 3 touchdowns in the quarter for the Thunder. 2 rushing from quarterback Johnny Peltz, in addition to a 23-yard pass to Luke Thorson, his 3rd touchdown today. Thorson, with one arm, could not bring in the Peltz attempt on 2nd down as Charlie Krieger in on coverage.
Krieger with the coverage.
And it's 3rd and 17.
Thorson a little slow to get up, but seems to be okay, running back towards the line of scrimmage, but it looks like he's going to actually get subbed out right now, but he got up pretty slowly after that. We'll see. Oh, he's going to turn back around, and now he's going to stay in the game, but
463 yards for Wheaton on 46 plays.
Wow.
A 5 wide receiver set for the Thunder on 3rd and 17, and personnel issues require a timeout. The first for Wheaton with 14:53 to play in the ball game. Elmhurst had a chance to tie the ball game early in the second quarter following an 11-yard touchdown run from Josh Williams, but the extra point was no good. Wheaton then responded quickly with a 6-play, 65-yard drive to take the lead. It was 21-13 at that point. Elmhurst was on the move, and Joe Camilleri fumbled inside the red zone, handing the ball back to Wheaton. The Thunder made quick work again, 7 plays, 79 yards, to take a 28-13 lead, and they have been in control since.
If you look at those Wheaton drives, too, 7 plays, 79 yards, 9 plays, 65 yards, 6 plays, 80 yards, 8 plays, 75 yards. Just long, sustained drives. This Wheaton offense just continued to roll and roll and roll. Johnny Peltz has led this offense and done a great job of not only managing the game, but making the big plays when the Thunder offense needs it.
Peltz claps his hands out of the gun, a 5 wide set. Throws over the middle to Thorson with a lot of space in front. Thorson reels it into the 29, continues to run forward towards the first down marker. Do they have it across the 40? It is a Wheaton first down.
Just a simple pattern, and it seems like somebody blew a coverage. Charlie Krieger looked like he was playing more of a zone, and running straight over the middle was Thorson, and that's definitely the person you do not want to leave wide open in the middle of the field. And Peltz finds him, and Thorson stretches all the way to the 41 and a first down.
18 yards on 3rd and 17. Wheaton is 7 of 7 on 3rd down today. 1st and 10, leading 49-20 with 14:24 to play. And Puknitis on the handoff, straight ahead of the 45. It is 2nd and 7.
What makes that 7 of 7 on 3rd down so impressive is that a lot of these 3rd downs have been long 3rd downs, at least here in this second half they have been. But Peltz has been undeterred, and the Wheaton offense has just continued to get rolling. As that time, 4 yards on 1st down, setting up 2nd and 6.
Puknitis again on the handoff, spins at the line of scrimmage and falls forward off the left edge for maybe a yard. And it'll be 3rd and 6 coming from the Thunder.
Good penetration by the Elmhurst defense, can committing a lot of guys to the run, getting their second level in, and to stop the Thunder for a minimal gain.
Third down. 4 wide for Wheaton. Puknitis to the left of Peltz, who takes a look at the play clock, ticking down to 5. He wants the snap. Plenty of time. Throws low, incomplete. And Matt Norton was not anticipating the pass. It landed at his feet. And 4th down.
Yeah, I don't know why he wasn't looking for the ball. He was wide open right in the middle of the field. But that's probably the first bad throw we've seen from Peltz. Or Peltz just got to put that at Norton's shoe tops instead of putting it on his numbers. And so for an impressive day for Johnny Peltz, it's probably the first mistake he's made.
Joe Sanfilippo stands at the 20-yard line. Sam Cody punting for the first time today. This is a beautiful kick. Sanfilippo lets it go. It bounces at the 7. Takes a bit of an Elmhurst roll and will come to a rest at the 10. As Cody's first punt today will force Elmhurst to move 90 yards down the field, trailing 49-20 with 12:45 left in the game.
And Cody, the reigning CCIW Special Teams Player of the Week after making a couple of field goals last week against North Central, including the game winner as time expired. That was a booming kick from left to right to set up the Wheaton defense and the Elmhurst offense very deep in Elmhurst territory.
12:45 remaining. Williams to the right of Camilleri. Out of the shotgun with 3 wide. Claxon in motion. And it is a handoff to Williams, a misdirection running right. And a shoestring tackle stops Williams at the 13 following a gain of 3.
Yeah, another misdirection. Pretty much the same play that they ran for the touchdown, except running it the other way.
Mikey Swider, the son of head coach Mike Swider, with the tackle, 2nd and 7. Clock running 12:15. Ball on the right hash. 2nd down and 7 out of the pistol. Camilleri fakes the handoff, fires over the middle. It is caught. The reception to Corey Partenheimer. The 6-foot sophomore from McHenry surpasses the 25-yard line for an Elmhurst first down.
And a nice throw by Camilleri, really stepping into that one and just putting a lot of gas on it to Partenheimer.
Camilleri fakes the pass. Came after the handoff to Josh Williams, who will gain a couple out to the 30-yard line. And again, Elmhurst is not abandoning the playbook yet. Down 49-20 with 11:35 left in this one. A gain of 3, 2nd down and 7.
Nice to see them continuing to open up the playbook and just kind of try to keep their own offensive flow going.
Camilleri drops to pass, throws for Claxon, and he juggles and fails to hold on. That's the 3rd time Claxon has been unable to reel in a feed from Camilleri.
That's very uncharacteristic of Garrett Claxon, who's usually sure-handed and a leading receiver in terms of receptions on the Blue Jays, and just very uncharacteristic of him to drop. He's got 3 drops now on the day. Uncharacteristic for him.
3rd in the CCIW in catches entering action this afternoon. He has only 2 today. It is 3rd down and 7 for Elmhurst with 11:13 to play in this 4th quarter, trailing 49-20. Camilleri drops back. Pocket collapses. He tries to run and is swallowed up by the entire defensive front of the Thunder. Josh Aldrin among those with the stop. Logan McCray may have been in there as well. They will give forward progress back to the line of scrimmage, so no gain for Camilleri. 4th and 7, and on comes the punting unit.
That's one of the strengths of this Wheaton defense is that front line, and you're already seeing Todd, the defensive end, has had a couple of sacks on the day, and they've been all over the backfield, all over Camilleri, especially on sure passing situations.
Brett Bayer to punt. High kick, deep. Backing all the way up is Matt Mitchell to the 26-yard line. He was standing at the 33. Mitchell returns to his left and is smashed out of bounds on the far side at the 32. It is 1st and 10 for the Thunder, and Johnny Peltz returns. Didn't know if we'd see him for another series or not, but at this point, with that 49-20 advantage, sticking with what's working currently. Peltz sees the pressure, keeps to his right, stutters back to his left, dives ahead for a gain of 2 out to the 34-yard line.
And Nick Spracklin and Brian Tucker on the tackle. Just tracking the Wheaton quarterback, signing a couple guys to them. I haven't seen a real defensive change for the Blue Jays after halftime, and Wheaton offense has continued to roll in the second half as they did in the first.
And perhaps surprisingly, the Thunder quickly back to the line of scrimmage. They call the number of Danny Puknitis, who sweeps right across the 35-yard line out to the 37. And a 3rd down and 5 coming for the Thunder.
And very interesting to see the Wheaton hustling the line. They don't huddle, so perhaps that's part of it. But even snapping it with the play clock around 15 is interesting play from Wheaton, perhaps not trying to stop their offensive flow.
9:15, a hard count from Peltz, fakes the handoff, throws over the middle. Catch made by Mitchell, hit instantly by Honorable. Is it enough? And they will signal a 1st down for the Thunder at the 42-yard line. That was a quick 1st down signal from the officials.
It looked like the official on the far side, the line judge, was pointing 1st down even though he was about a couple inches behind where the 1st down marker was.
And it was really before the ball was even spotted.
Yeah, that was a nice play by Mitchell, though, just to hold on to that ball. He got drilled by Valdez Honorable coming from the secondary.
1st and 10 from the 42-yard line. Clock running, 8:48 to play in this one. Wheaton 49, Elmhurst 20. Peltz hands it off. Puknitis dances left. He'll gain 3 out to the 45, and a flag flies as the play comes to an end. Referee Scott Curtis talking with the umpire Josh Reese.
It looked like, actually, I think Luke Thorson was in a little extracurricular activity. It's a late hit.
A personal foul against the Thunder after the play, so it will be 2nd down for Wheaton, back to the 30-yard line. And 2nd and 22 for the Thunder.
Wheaton now 9 penalties for 80 yards in the game, something that they will certainly have to clean up in future weeks, especially if they have hopes of a deep playoff run. Still has a couple of wins to get before they get to that CCW championship.
High snap, Peltz handles and tried to create something before just falling on top down to the 21-yard line. Remaining on the docket for Wheaton, Illinois Wesleyan at home next week, and then a road date with Carthage in the regular season finale. Meanwhile, Elmhurst heads to Milliken before hosting North Central on November 15th. The Thunder very much in control of their own fate right now, leading by 29 points, but it is 3rd and 31 from the 21. Play clock down to 3 for Peltz. He takes the snap, hands it off. and met instantly the ball carrier for the Thunder, Jackson Fain, out of Knoxville, Tennessee. There was absolutely nothing in there. John Eliadis amongst those for Elmhurst.
Right, Brody Charles was in there as well, and Wheaton will be forced to punt as the Elmhurst defense does get off the field, as Wheaton shot themselves in the foot on that drive, first with the penalty and then with the bad snap.
Joe Sanfilippo stands at his own 40-yard line. Sam Cody on to punt. This one is short. It will bounce shy of midfield but take a Wheaton roll. End over end, out of bounds at the Elmhurst 44-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Blue Jays with 6:49 to play, trailing 49-20.
And although this game seems very much out of reach, under 7 minutes to go, down 29, still important for the Elmhurst offense to continue to gain momentum and to keep using their principles to see if they can't improve. And they have obviously have a very big game on the road next week against Milliken, who is currently trailing to Carthage at home. And then obviously always the battle with North Central is always a key game for these Blue Jays. So a couple of big games left on the schedule. We'll see what their offense can do. Under 7 minutes to play.
Trips to the near side. Elmhurst on the right hash. 1st and 10 from their own 44. Play fake to Williams. It is Kalen Miller on the quick out. Shoved out of bounds across midfield at the Wheaton 49-yard line. Jordan Dombish with the tackle.
Another simple play. They love that screen play. They line up Miller as the middle receiver on the near side or on the far side and just pitch it to him and hope that the receivers can hold their blocks. But the Wheaton secondary has done a great job of getting off their blocks today and limiting those type of plays.
7 yards. It's 2nd and 3 from the Wheaton 49. On the left hash, Josh Williams straight ahead. Just a yard on the play. Jared Todd brings him down at the 48, 3rd and 2.
I think Joe Camilleri actually had a lot more room if he would have kept that to himself, but instead just giving up to Josh Williams to get the modest gain and set up 3rd and short.
Williams behind Camilleri, the pistol look. 3rd and 2. It is Williams, and he is bottled up and driven back. A loss of a yard on the play. Logan McCray slams him back to midfield. And a loss of 2 with 5:23 left in this ball game. 49-20 Wheaton in front, and 4th down and 4 means the offense stays on the field.
That's really been the story for the Elmhurst offense. They just have not been able to get Josh Williams going in this game. As Williams now 14 carries, 49 yards, just 3.5 yards to carry. So he does have the 2 scores, just hasn't been able to be consistently effective in the running game.
Camilleri on 4th down. Looks right, throws, has it knocked down. The arm of Jared Todd breaks up the pass, and Wheaton takes over with less than 5 minutes remaining, leading 49-20.
Jared Todd has been the playmaker. He's on the far side, just gets a hand on that. When you can't get to the quarterback as a defensive lineman, put your hands up and try to stop the ball and knock it down, and that's what he did. Jared Todd has been made a bunch of really key plays for this Wheaton defense. First a couple of sacks earlier in the game, and now that deflection to give the Thunder offense the ball back.
We'll have some personnel changes for the Thunder. Peltz remains in the game at quarterback. 10 seconds on the play clock. Spotted at midfield on the right hash. 1st and 10 for Wheaton. Peltz hands it off to Puknitis, running right outside the numbers. Cuts inside on his feet, still moving, 30-yard line to his left, down the center of the field, inside the 20, and dragged down at the 16-yard line. A huge pickup, 34 yards for Puknitis on 1st down.
I think that Elmhurst has to be a little better in tackling there. In the beginning of the play, it looked like they had him bottled up, but Puknitis was able to break a couple of tackles and then cut towards the inside. And just keep running down towards the far sideline and gain a huge play for the Thunder offense. But Elmhurst has to be a little bit more disciplined in their tackling there. Certainly had a couple of chances to make the play and just didn't do it near the line of scrimmage.
Clock running, 4:15 left in the game. 49-20, Wheaton with the advantage. Puknitis, the back. Johnny Peltz keeps, runs right, opening. Peltz inside the 10, on his feet, dragging tacklers into the end zone for the touchdown. Johnny Peltz with 4 touchdowns passing and now 4 touchdowns rushing. It's 55-20 with 3:57 to go.
Yeah, just a read for Peltz, and he picked the right option to keep it and just kept rolling and bowled his way into the end zone. A couple of players trying to make the stop for the Blue Jays, but Peltz just too strong and too fast to get up for the Elmhurst defense to stop him. And another touchdown for Johnny Peltz.
Here's the extra point from Cody. Down Main Street, 56-20 with 3:57 remaining. 537 yards of offense for Wheaton today.
Johnny Peltz has accounted for 289 of those through the air and 119 of those on the ground. 7.4 yards a carry for the Wheaton quarterback. 18 of 22 through the air. He completed his first 14 passes of the game.
Season high for Wheaton in terms of offense. Previous 483 against Coe in the season opener back on September 6. Several other season highs for the Thunder today as well. Individually, the 4 touchdowns from Peltz, 3 touchdown receptions from Luke Thorson, 4 touchdown passes from Peltz. The most yards gained by an individual on the ground today for Peltz. Most yards receiving, Keegan Kemp. Season high after season high for Wheaton, who will improve to 8-0 on the season. But not before the final 3:57 of this one have to play out. 56-20, Wheaton with the advantage. Andrew Haynes with the kickoff, high and short. Josh Williams from the 17-yard line. Williams with a hole down the center of the field is upended at the 35-yard line. Elmhurst takes over 1st and 10.
Well, that's the best field position they've gotten off a kickoff, and I've been very surprised. You always have Tyler Smith and Josh Williams back receiving, but Tyler Smith has taken all of the kickoff returns in this game, and a couple of them could have gone either way. So curious decision as to why Josh Williams doesn't take those, as you saw how electric he is. Running on that kickoff, getting all the way back to the 35. And so now the Elmhurst offense, obviously not in this game, but still with 2 key CCIW games to play. You get some offense rolling and get a couple guys back, including near side receiver Joe Sanfilippo, who missed most of the season so far with an injury, and now back into the game.
Camilleri keeps, rolls left, steps up, throws, and drops. It's been that kind of day for the Elmhurst offense. Spencer Frisbee had it in his hands, and he struggled to set his feet trying to make the catch. Kind of stumbled and dropped it on his way out of bounds. 2nd and 10.
Excuse me, Tim Camilleri, 16 of 25 on the game, but you got to think there's at least 4 or 5 drops, perhaps even more, from the Blue Jay receivers. So very well could be 21 of 25 or 20 of 25 at this point. He hasn't played a bad game. He just hasn't been able to make the big play to spring the Elmhurst offense.
2nd and 10 with 3:45 remaining. Camilleri dropping, dumping through the hands of Josh Williams near side. Incomplete, 3rd down.
Not a little ahead of Josh Williams, as we'll see on the replay, just trying to set up a screen. And Williams has a ton of room to run. That's exactly what you want if you're the Elmhurst offense. Get Williams with some space to run. But Williams just couldn't quite hold on. Camilleri's throw just a little out in front of the Elmhurst running back.
Third and 10. Williams to the left of Camilleri with 3:41 to play today. 56-20, Wheaton on top. Camilleri rolls left, Steps, throws to Claxton, incomplete. Pass broken up by Jared Strom, the sophomore from Wheaton.
Nice play by Strom to converge on the ball as Camilleri is trying to find Claxton right by the first down marker, and Strom playing off in his zone, then saw Camilleri's eyes and ran straight to the football. Nice play for him on the Wheaton defensive side.
Fourth down, on comes Brett Bayer to kick away. Clock running, 3:34 left in the ball game. 56-20, Wheaton with the lead. Thunder scrambling on special teams as Elmhurst, different look, and Bayer's going to throw on the fake. It is high and incomplete. He was looking for Adam Bowers, and that was just a wounded duck floating through the air.
Yeah, it was just he just kind of threw a duck there, and Claxton was in the area, Bowers was in the area, went over Bowers' head.
First and 10 for the Thunder, who take over at the Elmhurst 35, and we've got a change at quarterback. Reese Butler is on. Butler, the senior for Wheaton, out of Wheaton North, same high school as the starter, Johnny Peltz. Butler, the senior, Peltz, the sophomore, first and 10. And it is a handoff to Puknitis around the left edge, inside the 35, down to the 33, with 3:17 left in this one. 56-20 Wheaton.
That's a very interesting story how Butler and Peltz both went to the same high school, as Peltz unseated Butler as the starter here at Wheaton. Butler actually the leader in yards and passing touchdowns so far on the season for Wheaton, because he has played more time than Peltz has. He has 1,040 yards on the season, 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. But Peltz really showing that he is the man with his performance out here today.
With all day to work with and a 46-point lead, Wheaton huddles, and Butler will keep himself. He is dragged down inside the 30 as he runs left to the 28.
I think that was the first huddle I've seen for Wheaton in the whole game.
Miles Hamblin with the tackle. It was. Third down with 2:25 left. Third down and 4. 56-20 Wheaton on top, with 2:05 left in the ball game. Fain behind Butler, out of the pistol, and Butler is going to keep, strung out to the right side and dropped. Tackle for Elmhurst, Chris Eberhardt.
Nice play by Eberhardt to get into the backfield there, stop Butler, set up fourth down for Wheaton. It looks like in this part of the field, a little outside of field goal range, and wouldn't gain much with a punt. Looks like Butler checking in with the coaching staff, and they're going to go for it.
1:25 to play. Play clock sitting at 10 seconds for the Thunder as Wheaton breaks the huddle. Down to 3 seconds for Butler. And didn't get it off. Delay of game. Backs up Wheaton 5 yards to the 37-yard line. And Butler receiving the directives from Wheaton's offensive coordinator. So he'll stay in the game as the clock runs. We are nearing a minute to go. Butler hands off to Fain. Fain along the far sideline. Tiptoes his way to the 29-yard line, staying in bounds, and Elmhurst takes over on downs. Tackled by Billy Viero.
Almost got the corner. He got the corner, and I had some nice blocking on the outside. Just long way to go after that delay of game penalty, so the Elmhurst offense will head back out on the field one last time with just over a minute to play.
1st and 10. Joe Camilleri still in the ball game for Elmhurst, with 1:01 to go. 56-20, Wheaton with the lead. 540 yards today for the Thunder, a season high. Camilleri calling for motion. It's Leske, and Camilleri will flip it to Leske on the option. Leske rolls right, knocked out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Ben Shaw, Chris Jenkins combined for Wheaton after a gain of 5. It is 2nd and 5 with 54.8 left.
With this game just about done, it'll be very interesting to see how the Blue Jays respond. Last 2 times they have lost, they have come back with wins. Lost to Loras, beat Olivet, then lost to University of Chicago, and then beat Augustana. So see what happens after this loss here, how they respond when they travel to Milliken next week.
2nd and 5. And Connor Brewer receives the handoff. Up the right hash marks, just shy of a first down to the 38-yard line. He needs the 39 for a first. Clock running with 35 seconds left, and now the officials will stop. As Brewer lost his helmet, which means he needs to leave. On in his stead, Spencer Frisbee.
It's like a 10-second runoff.
Yeah, they're asking for the runoff to take it down to 27 seconds. Of course, one of the new rules with the equipment malfunctioning, if you lose a helmet, you can take a timeout in the last couple of minutes, or you can take a 10-second runoff. It is a 10-second runoff, and the clock now winding on 3rd and 2. Camilleri hands it off straight ahead, and Tyler Smith with a first down to the 40-yard line, picking up 2. And with 13 seconds to go in this one, Wheaton 56, Elmhurst 20. Chains are set, clock will run, and that's it. Camilleri starts the handshakes as he greets Blake Herman on the Wheaton defensive line. And there's only one team left in the CCIW with a perfect record. That is Wheaton. 56-20 your final tonight. The Thunder now 5-0 in the CCIW, while Elmhurst drops to 4-1. Johnny Peltz was the story. Elmhurst could not slow him down, whether it be on the ground or through the air. Peltz accounted for all 8 touchdowns, 4 passing, 4 rushing, 119 on the ground, 289 through the air, 18 completions, including 13 straight to start today. Luke Thorson, 3 touchdowns. Keegan Kemp, 6 catches, 132 yards. And Wheaton just too much for Elmhurst to handle. And this Elmhurst squad pretty disappointed by the outcome here today, but Wheaton came out and put pedal to the metal from their first offensive possession on.
And Johnny Peltz was really just so impressive. Completing his first 14 passes, ends up with over 80% completion percentage and right around where he was last week too. The 2 key games, two games against teams in the CCIW that were unbeaten. First he beats North Central in the battle for the Little Brass Bell, and now he comes here and just dominates an Elmhurst defense that came in ranked #1 in the CCIW. And so the Blue Jays, obviously very disappointing loss for them, but I mean, Wheaton came in and they really asserted themselves as the best team in the CCIW today. And it was just a very, very good performance from the Thunder, and very impressed by Johnny Peltz. Not only that, but also the offensive line. And that got to give a lot of credit to that Wheaton offensive line. It's really the Elmhurst defense get no pressure whatsoever on the Wheaton Thunder quarterback.
56-20 is the final for Elmhurst. Caleb Miller, 6 catches, 104 yards, and a score. Joe Camilleri finishes with 72 yards rushing, 219 through the air with a touchdown on 16 of 27 attempts. Wheaton with a 56-20 win today, piling up 548 yards of offense. Yeah, the Thunder are now 5-0 in the CCIW. That is all from Langhorst Field in Elmhurst today, where the Thunder remain unblemished in CCIW action, taking down Elmhurst 56-20. Thanks so much for joining us. For our entire crew and for Luke Tanaka, I'm Tim Calderwood. Adios.